Chucks on my feet, paletero on my block. Mr. Get It for the low, bitch, I'm from Daygo. Cortez on my feet, I'm from Daygo. Mr. Get It for the low, I'm from Daygo. Paletero on my block, I'm from Daygo. Small configuration, this shit fuego. Cortez on my feet, call me Diego.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Yo, what up?
We live.
In the building. What is up?
What's cracking? I'm Bam Bam.
Ernie.
Avid the Maverick, back at it.
And then our special guest,
Yes, sir.
my pops,
Lucky Two Tears. Morales.
Yes, sir.
In the house.
the man, the myth, the legend. And then we got Marcos over there in the corner. He's
Like
just
Bruce
chilling,
Lee.
but you can't see him. He's off camera. So we decided to get my pops in here because he has a lot of knowledge and shit to kick. A lot of shit.
Yes, sir.
He's
Happy
gotta
he's
say.
here.
Thank you.
Happy he's here. For sure.
Thank you.
I just see him as my pops, but I acknowledge the shit that he does, but he's still my pops.
Right on.
So
It's good to be here. It's an honor to be at this Daygo Talk segment right here on the Sunday evening. Going live on my TikTok right now. I promise to share my this live stream with my people.
yes, sir. And happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers. Me, my cousin Ernie,
Your dad?
my pops.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yep. So tell us how it all started. The walk, everything.
Oh, the activism?
Yeah, activism.
Yeah, like what made you like decide, you know what, I'm going to be an activist. Like I'm going to start really like kicking knowledge to everybody. Like what made you in your head to be like, you know what, I'm going to start doing this now.
Started when I was a teenager, about 17 years old. We were growing up and spent most of our adolescence down in the South Bay in this little neighborhood called Del Sol.
Mm-hmm.
And there was six of us siblings and 4 sisters. One of my sisters was getting into the whole gang life thing from Del Sol. And so we were watching her go through all the drama and everything that, with the whole gang life thing, the drugs, the fighting, everything. And to make a long story short, me and my brother were just kicking back in our room one day, and we were just, sharing some green, and we were talking, and he mentioned, he goes, so Lucky, what do you think about our sister's lifestyle? The whole, with the gangs and the fighting and everything, and and I said, to be honest with you, I don't really see any logic in it, and he was like. And then he told me something that stuck with me to this day. He goes, you know what? If that's what it's like to be Chicano, he goes, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with it, So, from that point on, that day on, he was, he never wanted to acknowledge himself as being raza, because the only example of being raza that he was seeing was the whole gang life thing. We didn't see beyond that. And with me, at that time, I was doing a lot of, pencil art and, dropping poems and stuff like that. And I was submitting my poetry and my illustrations to some of the local mom and pop publications. Mm-hmm. So it was easy for me to have my outlet, for me to express my concerns about what was going on in the barrio. So, that was the artistic side that allowed me to express that.
Your outlet.
Yeah, my outlet. So it just blossomed from there, from just knowing the difference between the reality and the illusion of Chicano pride,
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
So pretty much like you're not really like you don't consider like Chicano, like we're trying to explain earlier, like you said, he didn't want to do nothing with Chicano.
He didn't want anything to do with being Chicano or Mexican, because the example that was being set, from my sister's lifestyle and everything going on around us in the barrio,
Yeah, like it was like a bad representation of us, pretty much.
Yeah, he was like, if this what it means to be Mexican, claiming some street sign stuck in cement or a few square blocks of territory fighting against our own people, I don't want anything to do with it.
Gotcha.
And he meant that, and he stuck to his guns all the way into adulthood. He didn't want to date Mexican girls. He didn't want nothing to do like speaking Spanish, nothing. You know, he just wanted to, you know, just kind of like, you know, just no disrespect to him, but kind of like being like a coconut. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I know
brown
what you
on the
mean.
outside,
But
white on the
in
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And I don't blame him because of, you know, he didn't have that artistic side in order for him to see that there was another avenue to Chicanoism,
Okay.
you know, in the movement and everything like that. So, you know, I don't blame him.
Yeah. He wanted
know?
to stray away from the negativity that all that
Yeah.
brings in. You know what I mean? And gives us a bad rap, I guess.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And that's where it all started for you?
It started for me like that, and then I started putting in the footwork when I hit my early 20s, when we ended up moving to Barrio Logan. We were staying right off of 30 and National Avenue in some 2-story rundown house.
Yeah.
And I remember stepping outside one evening and thinking to myself, you know, I took a deep breath and I said, I'm home. I'm where I need to be in order to start, you know, putting in the footwork in my activism. And then, you know, as the years went on, you know, before that, putting in the footwork, I would create these like flyers and stuff like that, denouncing, you know, Chicano gang violence, and I would post them all over Barrio Logan and Sherman and stuff like that.
Spreading your positivity out there.
Yeah,
So.
and then go ahead, Mule.
I still remember one of the flyers, the one with he was behind bars, right?
Yeah,
It was
remember
like
that guy?
kind of like a guy screaming a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? I think
I could still picture that.
I think I've even seen that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I was wondering. I was looking in some of my archives on my folders and stuff, trying to see if I could find some of my old flyers and the flyers from the Unity Walk, but I haven't come up with anything. I still got to dig for it and see if I can
And that's
just to frame it, you know, and have it for memories or something. You know,
that's a pretty good memory though. How long ago was that? Like 90 something? And I can remember that
95,
little flyer.
94.
like mid-90s.
Yeah,
I was only like 7 or 8.
And that's when the gang stuff was really ramped up
Yeah.
during that time, right? Early
Yeah.
90s, late 80s,
yeah,
right during that time.
94,
Yeah.
So
95.
so
Oh,
I
I
guess
thought
you
he
kind of
said
got
98.
planted in like at the right moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the right place.
It was
for
like
you.
it was meant to be for me because you know, I've always had that drive to want to take a stance against raza fighting against each other, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was my opportunity, you know, for me to get out there and do it. You know, I was in Logan. I was like in the heart of where it all happens to me. Barrio Logan, Sherman, Shelltown. You know, I was right there, and I was like, I'm gonna start putting in the footwork, you know, and try to make a difference. So I was creating flyers and walking around, and then I got the news had got wind of what I was doing, and they came out and they did a story on me. So I was starting to pick up some speed with the media. The media was coming out
Yeah,
and
so-
recognizing what I was doing just by word of mouth. Look at this guy, he's walking around doing this and that, you know. So I had my first news story, and I was like, oh man, I was excited about that.
And plus, your word was spreading out more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you get more attention to you, which
Right.
means you could speak to more people.
Right.
You know, that's awesome.
Yeah. So in 95, me and some guys from the National City area decided, well, we got together, we kind of huddled, and we said we need to come up with something where we could send more of a message of denouncing the violence in our barrios, you know. And it was me and 50s from National City. And back then, you know, he was a young buck, you know. It was before he caught that case for that murder beef, you know. And we came up with the idea of maybe we should walk. Maybe we should have like a walk against gang violence, you know.
Kind of like how Cesar Chavez did back in the day.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and we were thinking about like maybe we should have like a barrio unity walk, you know, and begin the walk in Chicano Park and just trek through the neighborhoods, you know. And then I go, that sounds pretty good, but what should we do? Should we carry banners with us? Should we, you know, just yell out, you know, like positive things and stuff like that? And he was like, we were trying to formulate something, and then one day I was
I like this
on
story right here.
Imperial Avenue. I was on Imperial Avenue. I used to go pay. I used to have back in the day. I used to have a pager. you know?
Yeah.
I still remember that number.
remember those too.
I still remember your number.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah, 9985857. Yep.
God.
Wow, you do, man. I
Yep.
don't even remember that shit.
Yep.
But I was in there at the store paying my pager bill, and I saw like this container that had a bunch of little Mexican flags.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, and I bought one. And when I finished paying my bill, I was walking back home. I was on foot, so I was walking up Imperial Avenue, and I had this flag, and I was just kind of waving it, like this, a small handheld, hand-sized type flag, waving it around, and people were like passing by honking. And I was like, what the fuck? And then it just, boom, right there. I came up with this idea of maybe we should do the walk and carry these big Mexican flags with us, like these. So I got together with 50s, and we talked about it, and I said, let's get these big Mexican flags, man, and let's just trek through the barrios. If they're going to respect anything regarding our message, they'll respect the flag. Because whether they're from Logan or Shelltown or Sherman, they're all going to acknowledge the flag.
Roots.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did our first. We huddled, and we came up with a game plan to have our first walk on November 4th of 1996, which was the final day of Mexican Day of the Dead. So we said, okay, we're gonna do it on Dia de los Muertos, November the 4th, the final day, which is Louis' birthday, and so I was like, Bam Bam's birthday. So
good.
we were like, okay, let's do this. And we got some other guys from Logan, from different barrios.
Yeah.
It was like mostly guys from National City and Logan. Okay, so we got together. We all had the same motivation for doing this positive thing for our raza. So we went out, we bought these flags. I remember we bought the flags at All the King's Flags in Old Town. There's this little shop called All the King's Flags.
It's still there too.
Oh, really?
Is it? It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
I've never
okay.
heard
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
still there.
So we went
cool.
there and we got these flags, and we created these poles for them and everything. And then on the first day of our walk, we painted our faces like death because it was the Mexican Day of the Dead.
Yeah, and plus, it falls perfectly because of the message you're trying to come across. It's
Yeah.
like no more
Yeah.
death between us. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like the perfect.
So we were using the concept of death in order to promote life, to promote
Beautiful.
living. So our first walk was successful. We did really good. We walked from Logan Heights. We walked from Chicano Park, and we went through the Red Steps territory and into Shelltown, and from Shelltown into Logan. Into OTNC along Highland Avenue, all the way to about 21st and Highland. And the reaction that we got, the response was very positive. So from that point on, it was every Sunday. We said, let's do this every Sunday.
yeah.
So we just started doing it every Sunday from that point because there was so much hype and everyone was like, they really dug it, man. They really liked it,
Yeah.
the people, the raza from the neighborhoods. And we're like, damn, man, we're like rock stars out here, They're
And
really...
You're uniting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's awesome.
So, we just kept doing it every Sunday, and we never got a negative reaction from the guys from the neighborhood. On a good day,
No.
when we would show up at Chicano Park early enough, we'd say, you know what? Instead of in Chicano Park, let's go up to Lomas and then take the walk from Lomas through Barrio Sherman and then into Chicano Park and then continue on from there. So like on a good Sunday, when we had plenty of time, we would start in Lomas, Golden Hill, and we would take all the way into Grant Hill Park through Barrio Sherman, and then we'd come down Cesar Chavez into Chicano Park. Then we'd go to the Kiosco right there in Chicano Park, and we'd do this prayer. We'd all like huddle with our flags and everything, and we'd pray for the raza, we'd pray for the barrios, and that the people, the homies within the neighborhoods would continue to respect the walk,
Yeah.
and it just took off from there. It
blossomed.
It blossomed. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good, really good.
That's
The
dope.
only negative feedback we got was from the cops.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like, too many Mexicans out here. Too
Yeah.
many Chicanos
Yeah.
out here.
So when we
Quote, unquote.
created our flyer, we were, I know about the Constitution, and we used the First Amendment of the Constitution to protect the walk because it's protected speech. It's
Yeah.
we're just out there doing something positive. So what we did was when we created the flyer, we did the whole Aztec calendar and the mission statement, and on the very bottom was the First Amendment to the Constitution. So when the cops would hit us up, we'd go, "Here, motherfucker, here's our flyer." You know, and they'd read it and they'd be like, "Oh shit," you know. Yeah, they didn't know how to. They didn't know how to react because they're used to, you know, they're used to having or seeing coming across people in our neighborhoods that don't know their rights. Yeah, so so they could trample all over our rights. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so they would try to ID us, and this is not a stop and ID state, motherfucker. You need to go fuck with somebody who don't know the rights, you know. And they'd get pissed off. They'd try to undermine the walk any way they could.
Because they're used to that. They were used to like strong arming people and then getting away with it.
And they're used to preying on ignorance, man. That's why it's so important that's why it's so important for La Raza to know their rights and exercise their constitutional rights. You know, especially the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the Fifth Amendment. That protects us all, you know. And a lot of people think that these rights only are for white privilege, and that's not true. It works for La Raza too. It's worked for me. Yeah, I'm brown as could be, you know. And so I'm always pushing that. I'm always pushing, you know, know your rights. I'm always pushing, always record the police. Always record the police, you know. Police will come across you and you go to pull out your phone to record it and they'll tell you, put the phone away, you know, put the fucking phone away or whatever. And sometimes people go, okay, you know, and that's not, you know, you could film the police. You could record them. You know, it's written in their penal code. It's PC 148G, which gives the citizens the right to record the police while in the course of their duties. And not only that, it's the First Amendment of the Constitution under freedom of the press. You know, anybody who picks up a phone to record or a camera is automatically a member of the press. You don't get a press pass or nothing like that.
I didn't know that much.
Yeah.
So how was it before in the 90s without cell phones that recorded?
I bet. Yeah. How was that?
Just having the First Amendment right there on our flyer.
So just getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Just taking it.
Yeah. And just dealing with them, and they would see how, you know, how we used our brains and we knew our rights, so they couldn't fuck with us. They had to leave us alone, you know. And then after a while of doing the walk, they just got used to us like we were just regular, you know. It was just something regular that they would see on a weekly basis.
They pretty much got over it because
not all the time. Sometimes they would cruise by and flip us off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'd have police officers cruise by, slow down, and do that, you know, that horn that they got. And we'd look and they'd be like this, and what the fuck, man?
What for?
Acting like
what's
fucking
the point
kids
of that?
and shit.
Yeah.
You know, or saying "fuck you" and you know, and stuff like that. Go back to Mexico.
Oh, but if there's a camera, they shut the fuck up, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like they were used to just bullying their way through, and then once they find out they really can't, they're like, okay, to step back.
Yeah, just imagine how pissed they got when they have to wear cameras on their fucking shit.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I really have to put it on? Yes. And it records even if they don't put it on.
Yeah, but the thing about body cams is it's so important for the citizens to take the initiative to record the police, because you cannot depend on their body cams, because they have this thing where they edit it, or they'll delete it, or they'll redact it. You know what I mean? Or sometimes if you try to retrieve their body cam recordings, they'll purposely delay turning it over to you, because as a citizen you have the right. It's you have a right to do what you call is a FOIA request, which is a Freedom of Information Act, where you could retrieve the recordings from their camera, and you could literally post it on social media and stuff with the cops
without their permission.
Without their permission, you don't need their permission. It's our right. Yeah. It's called Freedom of Information Act.
So who would give you guys more shit, SDPD or NCPD?
Both of them in the beginning, in the first years of the walk, it was both of them, both jurisdictions. They used to like to fuck with us big time, because they used to pass their little information. Well, here they come. They're coming into National City. Okay, we got them. You know, so we would get units that would follow us, and the undercovers would literally do, you know, go in and out through the different blocks, you know, following us as we were going.
Trying to intimidate the sharks.
Yeah, coming in and out. And then they would stop at Division, and then NCPD would be right there to meet us, or just keeping an eye on us as we walked up Highland Avenue. Yeah. Just
trying to make sure that their presence is known, pretty much. You know what I mean, without saying anything.
Yeah.
Just trying to discourage.
So we would like, oh, well, you can't do nothing, you know, right back to them, and it pissed them off. But we would use our brains, you know, when they would fuck with us, we'd go straight to the mayor of National City. But at that time, during the the early 90s, they had this mayor, God, I forgot it, George Waters. And that motherfucker was racist.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, didn't they do a breakdown on the National City Police and found out a lot of them were actual Nazis?
Like they were KKK kind of thing?
I don't know about KKK, but probably just like this whole white supremacist vibe.
No, that's what I'm saying, with the like swastikas and shit on them. Finding out like they were, I don't know how to explain it, but like a little group with each other.
Yeah, they had their own like. To me, the police they're like a deputized gang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're no different from my experience. You know, being an activist in the barrio and working with the homeboys and stuff like that, they're no different than them. They just have a license to kill. You know, and they get away with it. They have the qualified immunity that helps them to escape prosecution from murdering someone. You know, and so they're no different than your average street gang.
Yeah,
they could be just as ruthless and stuff. You know, they're notorious for falsifying police reports, for planting evidence. That's why it's so important for us to take the initiative to record them, because if you don't and you get hemmed up, it's always their word against yours, and the judge and the courts will always give them the benefit of the doubt over the citizens.
Of course.
Especially brown citizens.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
crazy. And from what I've heard is a lot of people who were into like white supremacy.
Yeah.
Their go-to is to become a cop. Like they would always become cops later on down the line.
Right.
So there's a lot of like undercover racists out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you know, the lead singer from Rage Against the Machines, that's exactly what he wrote that song about.
Which song?
He says, what are his exact words? The people who wear the uniforms are basically the same that burn crosses. And he's a Chicano activist himself.
Yeah, he's are you referring? Yeah, the lead singer for Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
yeah, he was.
He's a big time Chicano activist.
Yeah, back in the day, he was like the very active in Mecha and the different Chicano grassroots groups and stuff. Yeah, Zach
de la Paz, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's why, you know, as I've grown with my activism, and I've done a lot with it. I also advocate for our brothers that are in the SHU, security housing units at the Pelican Bay and stuff, you know, being an advocate for them for better treatment. And, you know, always defending La Raza and educating them on our rights and how the Constitution works for us. Always pushing them to always, because I get a lot of people that come at me and said, man, I'm having problems with the police. They're always harassing me. And, you know, I tell them, film the police. Always record them from the beginning when they hit you up to when they drive away or when they hem you up, you know, and put them bracelets on. Keep your phone going, you know, and always live stream it for on your what do you call it? The Facebook,
yeah.
And it, you know, just in case they shut off the phone or stop the recording, it'll automatically go onto the Facebook as a video, you know, and you could use that later, you know, for your, you know, to defend yourself, you know, because National City PD now know me very well.
Oh yeah,
and they don't fuck with me at all. You know, they see me coming and they
straighten up.
Yeah, they just,
like the
Mr. Morales, you know, or
the story that I had told you about me getting pulled over by that fucking rookie.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was walking home. I was literally walking this way, and he had pulled me over, and he tried to ID me. I was like, this ain't Nazi Germany. I was like, you can't just walk up to me thinking that I'm gonna give you my ID just because you try to act like a bully.
Just because of the way you look or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, bring your supervisor down here, and he goes, by the end of this stop, I'm gonna ID you. So he brings the supervisor, and he's like, what's your last name? And I was like, all right, you know my dad. And then he goes, you said your last name was Morales, right? I was like, yeah. And he goes, let him go. He was like, he literally told the rookie cop, he's like, you're messing with the wrong person.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His fucking superior, he was like, you could go home. And the guy was like, why? And he tried to give me the shit that, oh, you're walking through a well-known drug territory.
Right.
They're always.
I don't know
always
if
come
you
up
have.
with
I'm like,
something.
There's
bro.
always drug territories
Drug
everywhere,
territory
right?
Match the description or something.
Well, I do, but still.
Hey, but it's funny. His name just like puts fear in them.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
he-
mean? That's dope. Yeah.
But as soon as like his sergeant or whatever fuck got there, he had told him, he's like, oh, well, that's Lucky's son, and he just let me go.
See, the thing is, it's because I know my rights, and I study what works for us as a people, and what we could use to protect us as a shield against unlawful arrest, or when the police approach us without probable cause. You always, when the police hit you up, when they're like coming out of nowhere and they hit you up, you say, okay, so what is the reason for this contact? Is this contact consensual, or are you working off of assumptions and preconceived notions based on racial profiling? Is that what you're doing, officer?
Ooh.
And then just kind of like, whoa,
Freeze up.
yeah, they don't know what to say. And then always have your phone right there recording it as you're asking them these questions. Well, can I get your ID? Where are you coming from? Where you're going? Where I'm coming from and where I'm going is none of your business, because it isn't.
That's
There's
exactly
no
what I told
law
him.
that says that they have to know where you're coming from or where you're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they get too many, start asking too many questions. I don't answer questions, officer. I don't answer questions. Well, where you been? I don't answer questions. Where you going? I don't answer questions.
And that's when they start getting like really like angry, right? And that's
Oh
when
yeah,
they start,
he was getting pissed. He was turning red. He was a little white boy, but he was super fucking red.
Look at
Oh
him,
yeah,
yeah,
because I was cussing at him though too. I was being a dick, but I was still recording him, just talking shit to him. I lost the footage, but it was pretty good.
Well, California is not a stop and ID state. If you're not out there committing a crime, you don't have to ID yourself to a police officer. I don't care what he comes up with in order to try to get you, because they use intimidation tactics in order to scare you into pulling out your wallet and go, okay, here you go.
Well, if,
And stuff. If you stick to your guns and you show no fear and you stand in your conviction, say, I'm not giving you anything. I'm not giving you shit, public servant, unless you could come up with reasonable, articulable suspicion that I have committed a crime, in the process of committing a crime, or have already committed a crime. As soon as you could articulate that, then I will give you my identification. Other than that, you're not getting anything from me. So you need to do an about face, kick rocks, and go back to work.
well, Ernie doesn't have to worry about getting ID'd by cops because
Oh.
apparently they like him.
apparently so.
Like in our second episode, we were
Your
this
story
month-
that you're talking
I'm
about.
Pops.
He's just
Dad.
because they all harassed him and they just let me.
Marcos got handcuffed. I got handcuffed. You remember Chunt, right? The big guy.
Yeah.
He got handcuffed. Ernie was the only one that was sitting on their bumper, just like chilling, laughing with them, talking to him, because he was talking to these two lady cops, and me and
He almost walked
me,
out with the
Marcos,
number.
and me.
Oh, shit.
He almost walked out with the number. He's like, "What party y'all going to?" He's like, "Oh shoot, y'all want to go?" Like,
Fucker with her gun belt on.
Fucking Ernie.
literally fucked the law, huh?
Yeah. Fuck the law. Okay.
Mrs. Officer. Oh yeah, but that day was fucking hilarious. We were mad. Ernie was fucking laughing, and then laughing in the car after the fact.
He was the only one having a good time.
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
he
time. Like,
was. He definitely was.
So what happened when you got hemmed up? When was that?
That
What
day
was
or with Ernie?
with Ernie?
Oh, we were pulling out of our driveway right there on
when
Party
you guys was on Party.
Oh.
in the little White House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were literally pulling out. We didn't even make it to. Remember where Daygo lived?
Right.
Right in front of Diego's. We didn't even get like a house far.
The whole
And
car
they-
didn't even leave the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they pulled us over. I was about to go call you, but they already had asked me, Marcos, and everybody to get out the car. And there was a shitload of cars too. I'm surprised you didn't like look out the window and see a
Yeah,
shitload
there was
of cop
like a
cars.
car for each person.
Yep.
and 2 cops for each person.
Wow.
Well,
When they
Yeah.
come that deep and they don't have probable cause, and that's when you tell them, you know what, this is. So is this what we're doing with our? Is this where our taxpayers' money is going? You know, all these police officers for, this minor so-called situation. You always got to call them on their shit. You always got to call them on their shit. And see what kind of explanation they can give you. But the most important thing is always film them and never allow them to tell you, you can't put that phone away. You're not going to film me. Bullshit. I'm going to film you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record this.
Yeah, like you said, they seem to forget that they're public servants.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
think they are the law, not I mean, working for the law. So they
Exactly.
have that mentality, bro.
They
Yeah.
they hate when you tell them that your taxes pay their paycheck.
Yeah.
They're like, I pay taxes too. It's like, yeah, but it's not going to go directly back to you.
Like for example, if you're right there with the placa and stuff like that. You have your phone out and the unit is right there, and you have see that they leave their computer open. Okay? And you're right there recording, and they say, hey, don't record on my car. Bullshit. Anything I could see, I can record. You cannot trespass my eyes.
Really, even though if it's inside their
You're
car
protected. Yeah, you're protected under the
Okay.
First Amendment. It is their onus for them to shut the computer, to create privacy. There's no expectation of privacy in public. There's cameras everywhere. They're watching us all over the place. You know, people on social media, cameras are everywhere. Go inside the post office, they're inside there. Grocery stores, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So for the cops to say, don't film inside my car, our taxes pay for the car. Excuse me, your car? That's my car. That uniform, that's my uniform. That gun belt, that's my gun belt.
I paid for it.
I paid for it.
But just like,
always remind them of that. Always. Don't be
Which-
afraid to
Some good
remind
knowledge,
them.
yeah.
But just like Theo Danny's mindset, where it's those bad seeds that were like fucking him up, where he didn't like. There's always bad seeds, bad apples. Like I have a few friends that were cops when I was doing the MMA training, and they were fucking cool. They were fucking awesome, and it's a female cop, and she fucking hates dirty cops. One of the reasons why she still loves the force and everything, but she was kind of like getting over it.
I've had meetings with, like, when I met with the chief of National City, it was about a year ago. We were talking about good cops and bad cops, and I told him that, I know that there's a lot of good cops, and I told him straight out, I'm not into defunding the police. I'm into police reform, educating them on being more culturally aware of and treating people with respect and dignity and stuff like that, and behaving in a professional manner. We're out there, and for them to assume that we all know our rights, even though we don't. They need to assume that we do, so they don't violate our rights. And I told them, I know there's a lot of good cops because I met them.
Yeah.
During the walk, not only have I come across cops that acted like asses, I came across cops that have come up to me and say, hey, man, I really dig what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Shake my hand, take a picture with them. I have pictures with the cops and stuff like that, But I told the chief, I go, what's unfortunate is, you have a lot of good police officers, but you got the bad ones that when they're out there doing their shit to people, they put the good ones' lives at risk. You know what I mean? Because you get people that assume that all cops are bad, so what do they want to do? They want to fuck them up. They want to shoot them. And sometimes you get the good cops that catch a hot one, instead of the bad cop,
Yeah.
That's right.
And I told him, the police officer's worst enemy is? And he's like, what? I go, is a bad cop. I told him.
And
Facts. That is
it's a
facts.
trip because I was actually talking to a cop. She's a regular at my hookah lounge. She goes there to go smoke and eat. And we were talking, and she said that she ended up resigning because she was in IB and they had busted this house, and she was the only one that was there at first. And she had put them on the sidewalk or whatever, and one of them got up and fucking punched her in the fucking face.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, knocked her lights out. And that was the
Wow.
last time she's ever put on a uniform, she said.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep, she got knocked the fuck out. And she was like, and she goes, I was one of the nice ones. And she wasn't like they were in a crack house, and they were busting that crack house. So she had pulled them out and everything, was like frisking them. And then one of them just like turned around and fucking knocked her fucking lights out. Put her to sleep.
Damn.
And she told me, she was like, that was the last time I ever put on an SDPD uniform.
Wow. And how long has she been a police officer?
I think she said that she was a police officer for 3 to 4 years already. And that was like one of her first times ever getting fucking punched.
I think when you become a police officer, you have to learn how to take the good with the bad, even if it comes, to when even if it comes to almost losing your life, if you're gung ho police
Mm-hmm.
and it's in your blood to protect and serve, you just gotta pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and say, you know what, I still got to do my job.
Yeah, because once you sign up to be a cop, you sign up to the responsibilities of what it takes to be a cop, and like you said, with the good and the bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to have that mentality already straight. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the Supreme Court ruled that, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Supreme Court ruled that the police are not responsible for the protection of the people. It is us that needs to take the responsibility to, in other words, they are not obligated to protect us. And that's a Supreme Court rule. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
But their job is to protect and serve the citizens, when the Supreme Court ruled that, you guys are not really obligated to protect the citizens because by law, citizens need to take the initiative to protect their families, their homes, their property and stuff. So the cops just play like a small part in the whole protect and serve,
Is that why sometimes when cops are there, they kind of hold back
Yeah.
from like doing a certain thing, like they pick and choose what they want to intervene in?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because
Yeah.
I always thought that it was mandatory for them to step in if they see something, you know what I mean? But it's like more from what you're telling me is more like up to their choosing almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
I follow a lot of on YouTube. I have a few friends that are like cop watchers on YouTube, like San Joaquin Valley, and there's Riverside Accountability, and these guys go out there and they monitor the police. And there's East Los Audits, all guys from all over Galifas and different parts of the United States that that monitor the behavior and the professionalism of police officers. And I learned from watching them. Because they go out there with their cameras and they're right there with the cops, and the cops try to talk shit and they tell them, get the fuck out. There's some guys that are real extreme.
Yes.
Where the cops are.
San Joaquin Valley.
Yeah,
He's the one that likes to talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I like him though. He's cool.
He's schooled.
Is he the one that I don't know if I'm gonna be like mistaken.
He's a Mexican cat.
But did he ever go into actual police department and
Oh,
start
yeah, yeah.
videotaping?
Oh, yeah, that's him.
And they're trying to kick him out. Like, no,
Yeah.
this is a public, like a library.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
You
he'll
can't
go.
kick us out.
Or he'll go into the mail, like the
postal
office,
post
yeah.
office.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you walk into a post office and you walk in with a camera, people would tell you can't film in here. It's a federal installation or something like that. But they have this poster on the wall. It's called Poster 7. And there's a paragraph that allows the citizens to photograph and take pictures in anywhere that's publicly accessible.
Mm.
Anywhere that you walk in the post office that's free to the public, you could film.
Mm-hmm.
They can't trespass your eyes. Anything that your eyes could see, you could film it. And they'll try to make up stories to get you kicked out, like, oh, you're trying to record people's public information or transactions with credit cards, and you need to go and this and that.
It's their
But
duty to cover it, to move it away.
Yeah, it is. They
Yeah.
have to they have to create their own privacy when
Yep.
it comes to that.
That's why they started getting those. How the phones have that.
The anti
People looking over your shoulder.
where you
Only
can
you can see.
it if you're like right in front of it. You
So
can't
they
see it
started
from
putting
side.
those on the computers, which is smart.
Yeah.
Which they should.
That's what they should have done in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and so these cop watchers, they also go into police stations and they do what they call audits. And they go into police stations and they film and stuff like that. And people get upset, but they're exercising their First Amendment of the Constitution, That's their right. Their right to record city officials while in the course of in their duties, while they're performing their duties. As a citizen, you have the right to check up on your city officials and make sure that they're doing their job. That's where your tax dollars are going.
Mm-hmm. Emphasis public service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On all
man.
levels, police, anyone, So you got a lot of these guys putting the cops in check, and I learned a lot from them too. So that's why anytime I come across the police and they try to, well, they don't anymore because, they know me from the...
Yeah, you got a reputation now behind you. So
Yeah, so I just use a little piece of what they do to kind of brush up on what I know. You know what I mean? Kind of tighten it up and stuff, so.
Yeah, so that's cool that you're actually making sure that everybody else knows as well what you know, your information. You know? So that's very helpful, man. So that's cool. Thank you.
I've helped out.
Actually,
Thank you, brother. I've helped out a couple of the, some really solid guys from National City defending them against harassment via NCPD. You know, I had one
Or correctional
without mentioning
officers too.
Yeah, without mentioning any names. There's this one of the main guys from National City. I was inside Redbird Market, and we started chopping it up, and he was telling me about this this one officer in particular that keeps kind of like stalking him. You know, I'll walk out of my house, Lucky, and he's right there at the end of the block watching me. You know, so I sent out this email. I go, you want me to put them in check for you? And he goes, yeah. Can you help me with that? I go, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I put out this email to the chief of police, to the chief of police, and one of his captains and stuff. I put out this email, let them know what was up and what they're doing. I go, you know, this guy's trying to fly straight, and you guys are fucking with him because of shit from the past.
It's harassment.
You know, yeah. And so I pretty much laid it on the line, and to make a long story short, one of the homeboys from the neighborhood came up and said, hey, Lucky, there's like a little, how do you say, not like a rumor, but there's like a message we wanted you to, the police sent a message to you and they want you to stop harassing them because you're starting to be a pain in the ass.
You're like, well, that's my job, buddy.
Yeah. He goes, I don't know how to tell you, man, but they think you're a pain in the ass, man, because you keep fucking with them, and they already got the message. They're not going to mess around, and they're not going to fuck with them anymore.
Well, how do you think we feel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, a lot of those cops just like a lot of those guys that are in jail are trying to just do their time. Just like one of my cousins, he was telling me when he was locked up north, they would always put him with the Norteños on purpose so he could fight them because he knew they knew that he knew how to fight.
yeah.
And if he was in the same pod or anything with them, he would have to fight.
Oh, so
And
did that
they would
on
always
purpose.
start the fights too, and they would always. And the thing about him, it's the same thing as the movie Felon.
I was about to say, that sounds like that movie Felon.
And one of our close cousins, and he was telling me how they would always bet on him because he would knock fools out.
Like that?
And and they would, and the
I
fucked
don't
up thing
think so.
is that they would let him fight, and then obviously they would have to take a fucking record of it, and he would get more time.
Yeah. It's like they purposely
Oh yeah, they were
perfect.
purposely doing it to him.
That's fucked up. It's crazy.
So that's kind of like, just one of the many facets of my activism,
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of, it's just part of the whole thing. When you're in activism, not only do you have to deal with the issues regarding La Raza, you also find yourself having to deal with the police and deal with politicians. And, not too long ago, there was this, last year, there was this council member. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's from National City. And he didn't like what I was posting on social media in regards to me and another activist from National City complaining about shit that's going on in the city and how things are not being done.
Yeah.
Okay, for the benefit of the people of National City. So what he tried to do was he called me, and he tried to like indirectly threaten me by saying that, why don't you find something else to do instead of being on social media complaining about what the mayor does and what we do. He goes, because he tried to say that the mayor had some cousins who had just got out of prison or whatever. And he goes, because people are getting upset about what you're saying, and they're talking about knocking on people's doors.
What?
Yeah. So he tried to intimidate me.
And this coming from the mayor?
No, this was coming from one of his council members.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was like saying, yeah, you need to kind of kick back and stuff like that because the mayor's cousins or relatives just got out and they're tired of you harassing her. And so they're going to come and visit you and this and that. So I go, is that right? And he goes, yeah. I go, okay. So I investigated it through the homeboys from the neighborhood, and they said he was full of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, basically they said,
was just
and
an empty threat.
he shouldn't even be opening his mouth about anything like that. So he was trying to make it sound as if he had juice in the neighborhood, and that he was trying to he ran this. He gave me like this little story about how the homeboys go to his house, and how he knows all the inner workings of what they do and this and that. I go, why are you telling me this, man? You're not supposed to be telling me shit like that.
Yeah.
You know? So I got in touch with one of the guys from the neighborhood, and he goes, is that right? He goes, okay. You know? He goes, that guy's full of shit. That shouldn't even be coming out of his mouth.
He was trying
to keep his mouth shut about that kind of shit.
He was trying to do what the same thing the cops do.
Yeah.
Trying to intimidate you. You know what I mean? See if you put your phone away, kind of thing.
Yep. So
That's
what
crazy.
I did was I filed a formal complaint against him through the what was it, the city attorney? The city attorney of National City, and was it the city attorney? There's another cat who has this position. It's called the city manager of National City. So I filed this complaint against him, and he was reprimanded for his behavior.
Really?
Yeah.
You set him straight as well.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yep. And then to make a long story short, somebody had a talk with him and put him in check too.
Really?
Yeah, told him to stop running his mouth, that he has
Nice.
he doesn't have no juice in the neighborhood like that, and he shouldn't be opening his mouth. Nobody goes to visit him. He ain't got no connections. He needs to shut up. You know, so.
And if he did, he's fucked now. He doesn't have any of those connections no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I don't think that you should be, if you're going to be in the, like I learned this with my activism, is never involve yourself with the street politics of the homeboys.
Yeah.
I learned how to separate myself from that, help them, but never get too involved with their politics, because it jeopardizes myself as an activism and my credibility and stuff like that. At the same time, I'm helping them, and then it puts me like in the light where the cops are going to be investigating me because they think I'm connected with something or up to something and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you learn as an activist to kind of like, you're right there to help the raza, but you don't involve yourself too much with la raza. And you don't
put your hands dirty.
Yeah, and you don't mind their business. Their business is not my business.
Yeah.
What they do on a daily basis to put food on their table is none of my fucking business, whether it be legal, illegal, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that you learn.
But the only closest thing is telling those younger kids, those dumbasses, stop doing drive-bys. That's about it. That's the
they're
closest to politics that you can get. Telling
Yeah.
them to, well, they're gonna learn about it when they get in there, but to not do fucking drive-bys, because that's a big no-no in California.
and little like the younger cats are like shoot first, ask questions later, and that's the bad thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's crazy. 'Cause,
Yeah, that's still a big no-no. It came out in the early 80s, mid 80s of, no drive-by shootings.
Yeah, because they were hitting kids and grandmas and
Yeah, they
innocent
weren't even
people.
hitting their targets, and so they, the brothers on the inside, they cracked the whip and they said, no more. And there's also a proclamation that came out almost a year and a half ago, kind of like prohibiting gang banging, period. And I have all the paperwork of that on my phone, and I share that with certain people so that they could disseminate that information too, because that comes from the inside out. And so it's basically new rules of engagement when it comes to the whole raza barrio against barrio
Yeah.
conflict stuff. So, I mean, our brothers on the inside are saying, this shit's enough now. All this fucking gang banging shit and raza against raza, it's like, it's getting old, and it's, it's bullshit. We're all fighting against each other over what?
Yeah.
Shit that we could never buy, sell, nor own.
Facts, yeah.
We could love our barrios and represent the barrios and everything, but to kill our own people is like, it's stupid, and they're realizing it because they're seeing this whole regime of hatred that's coming up, and our backs are against the wall.
Yeah.
We have people that hate the fuck out of us because of the color of our skin.
And not only that, a lot of these dudes end up in fucking car clubs with each other that are from different gangs.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You got dudes that are from Shouttown, Logan, and they're all from the same fucking car club.
Well, that's cool though.
Yeah.
See, but the bad thing is like that message doesn't get across to the younger kids.
Oh, they don't
like,
give a
like,
fuck.
Like you know what I mean? Like the older heads, yeah, but the younger kids, they don't really pay attention to any of that, unfortunately, nowadays. You know what I mean?
I just connected with. I just got started chopping it up with a guy from one of the Maravillas neighborhoods up there in East Los.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, we started starting to do some collaboration. You know, because he's like, he's from one of the Maravillas, but he's kind of like he did a 360-degree turn with his life.
Nice.
Through his tattoo art, and he's very intelligent. So he's also doing the whole unity thing, and he has a teenage son that doesn't follow in his footsteps. And he has this this YouTube video. This guy came out and did like a little documentary about his life up there in East Los, and he's taking him on a tour of the neighborhood and what he's doing for himself. And then he introduces his son in this documentary. And his son's like this clean-cut Chicano kid that doesn't have tattoos, nothing, doesn't run with the gang or anything like that. He goes, that's not for my son. He goes, I don't want him to follow my footsteps, and he doesn't want to.
What do you remember meeting Joseph? He was it was my sister's ex-boyfriend's friend, and he was in Gridiron Gang. He has all the chest tattoos. That he was a cholo that was in Gridiron Gang. He didn't say anything yet. Remember, he had came over and we were drinking with him on party, and he did this Southside piece for me on this piece of paper.
Yeah, okay, that was him.
So no, you know what he's in now?
Where?
He's in Mayans in the MC. Joseph. He plays Creeper.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he has all these like kiss marks on him, and he plays Creeper from the Mayans.
Okay, I think.
And we got to hang out with him. You were drinking with them, and that's when I was a little bit older too, and so I was drinking with y'all too.
I didn't even know that.
I gotta put that in there real quick.
Yeah, I was old enough.
I was old enough.
In Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, but his name's Joseph, and he was on. He has this little thing. He was on Dr. Phil, and it's the same thing. He has a younger son where he doesn't want his son to get into the same life he did. He was from L.A. I think he was from a gang called Deuces, some shit like that. But yeah, he was a well-known gang member. He did it sometime, and then he went to Homeboy Industries, and he got into Gridiron Gang, and he met The Rock, and then he was like, I want to do movies. He's like, I want to do something else. And he's one of the main characters from Mayans. So he doesn't get like too much talking, but like he's one of the main dudes. Yeah,
his presence.
He sits at the table with them and everything, and he has his own little episodes. So it's pretty cool.
Man.
And it's cool because I got to meet him. I was like, oh,
they give him a little bit of dialogue or something.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. He has a lot of followers on his IG now. He's not gang affiliated anymore, but he gets to meet all those Chicano dudes that used to be
that are out there making movies too.
Yeah, like the dude that's from. What is that? The cop movie, cuz?
And the Watch?
And the Watch. You know how the dude from Curbside, he's from there too, and he plays Coco.
And the Watch?
Okay. From the Mayans.
And the Watch. Okay.
The dude from 18th Street, the one that has the AK-47.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the gold one?
Yeah. So, no, not the gold one. He's holding the AK, and he's the one of the ones that kill the homeboy and the Watch.
He's in a few movies. He's in...
And he's wasn't he from like 18th?
I think so. I trip out how they do like a complete turnaround. They grow their hair long. They start going on a whole different trip, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's cool that they use it like to their advantage. You know what I mean? When it comes to Hollywood, because like they're looking for cholos and stuff like that, and it's like a good avenue to get your shit straight.
They call it type casting.
Typecasting.
Yeah, when they looks like a gang member. Let's put him.
Yeah, we were talking about that the last time. I don't know if it was the last podcast or the one before, but we were talking about how you got typecasted to just play like a little part that was with John Stamos.
Oh, in that movie that never came out.
Yeah.
The Fortunate Son.
Yeah,
I was in that one with John Stamos.
Yeah, and it just like it went into the vault, huh?
Yeah, it never got released. Yeah, it was a pilot. That's what they called it.
He played what, like an FBI agent?
He was an investigator. He was trying to investigate. There was a cholo dude that was being framed for a murder that he did not commit. So John Stamos' character was out there trying to find out what really happened, because John Stamos believed that this youngster, this gangbanger, who's a legitimate gangbanger, didn't really do this murder. So he was out there, trying to correct it.
It sounds like a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't pull that off.
I was there for the whole production of it and everything. It was over there along Commercial Avenue in Barrio Logan. right there by the trolley station, and all the entire scene was like, remember the top of the stairs?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, 30
There was like
second
a little
commercial.
like there was like a little house right there. They filmed it some of it right there, and a long commercial and stuff. It was like I got to chop it up with John Stamos. We were sitting
That's
there
cool.
eating sandwiches and stuff.
That's sick. Yeah.
He's cool people. He's solid people in person. He's not like
And he's one of the biggest fucking like stars too.
yeah, he's not like stuck up.
He
or
doesn't
anything
act too
like-
Hollywood.
Oh
No,
no.
he
Yeah.
was real down to earth. He was fucking with people, messing around. Stuff
Oh, when he was messing with you guys on set,
yeah.
he was walking. I remember that too. He was walking up towards the house and he started doing a curtsy
Yeah.
instead of just like saying "What's up" to you guys.
Like
I
curtsy,
remember
what
that. Yeah, he started
Yeah.
because they were playing cholo, so they're like
Oh.
whistling at him and shit.
he's
So he
wa-
started like curtsying and shit.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah, it was cool people come up from behind me, get me in the headlock and stuff.
Oh, for real, like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet him, and then
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
The late John Belushi's brother, Jim Belushi.
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, I was in I played a small part as a
Cholo.
cholo in the movie Canine.
Oh, I heard those were all
Canine.
like, or one of them was filmed here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was filmed
one.
right there near Chicano Park
Yeah.
on
He's it.
Gridley Avenue. What is it? Grizzly Avenue, whatever name. It's like one street down from Chicano Park, like south of Las Cuatro Lumipas on the other blocks going down that way.
Okay.
They had this like budget rent-a-car place in which John had, or Jim had to, we were inside this house. We were barricaded in this house. That's how the story began. We're barricaded in this house. We were dealing drugs and we got chased by the cops. We barricaded ourselves in the house. And then Jim Belushi's character, the cop, he rented a car from the budget rent-a-car just to ram the house to arrest us.
Oh, shit.
Suck the floor. And we're like, okay. We got on the ground. That was our part.
So you were there for that when he actually rammed the car and everything? Or?
Well, they
Was
you
that
know
a
they
different
do it where
set?
the stuntman hits the house,
Mhm.
and then they put Jim in there, and then they put us in there. Action, you know, and then they
Yeah.
blow dust, you know, with these air pressure things to make
Make
as if
it-
the car had just crashed in there.
That's dope.
It's a trip to see, you know, Hollywood do their thing.
Yeah, that's a good experience. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
dope.
that would be dope.
Yeah, we got to eat with him, take pictures with him, and yeah, he was really cool too. Kind of a smartass.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
he's-
comedian.
Yeah.
He's a smartass. Likes to crack jokes.
Hella sarcastic.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, sarcastic like humor.
Well, that's his. He plays himself in every single fucking show and movie.
Yeah.
He's basically just playing Jim.
Also got to meet what's his name? The guy who played Clubber Lang, the guy who fought against Rocky Balboa, the black guy,
Oh, Apollo?
Apollo?
He
Apollo
played
Creed.
Apollo Creed, yeah.
Apollo Creed.
I don't know his actual name though, but yeah.
I got to meet him, and who was it? There was this program for television. It was called. It was a series called 18 Wheels of Justice. It was about this vigilante that drives around in this big rig that's specially equipped with, you know, like guns and different things that it does. Kind of like a diesel version of the car Kit from Knight Rider.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has all the special, you know, stuff that it does.
Yeah.
But this was like this big rig, and the director of the film was what's his name? The black guy from
Apollo.
Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the director of this film, so I got to meet him because I was an extra
Yeah.
in the show.
That's cool. Did you did you like look for to trying to be in as an extra, or did you reach out to
kinda
you
like-
or
When I did the extra for the Jim Belushi film,
yeah.
I signed up with Seagull Film Productions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And so they were calling me saying, hey, we got this film we're going to do. You want to come and do an extra? You know, so I did 18 Wheels of Justice. And then like years ago with Lorenzo Llamas, he had this show where he's a biker type dude who's also a vigilante, and got to do like a typecast, like gang member role in that one too.
That's cool.
So I was on a roll for like a little bit with
That's
that.
dope. You should have kept going. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
He
I
probably
mean?
would have been on mine. That would have been
I
dope.
know you could have been the next machete, or you know what I mean?
It's pretty cool to be in that whole production thing with all the cameras and, you know, they cut, action. They do all of that stuff, and
that's
you're right
dope.
there going, wow, this
I'm a
is pretty
superstar now. Like,
Yeah.
that's dope, man. But I heard that they pay okay, right? Too. Like, even though you're an extra, you get like what, like $500, something like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I was looking into that. I was trying to be an extra too, but I'm
Without
like, I don't know about
speaking or
time,
anything,
bro.
just being right there, you just get
Yeah.
like about $500 or something like that. Yeah.
Just for being in the background of a movie.
Yeah.
That is awesome, right?
Right there.
And then you meet actors and actresses, like, it's dope. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a good
Because they
experience.
set up this whole when they have the catering right there too, and they have like this big tent and they have the catering and the stars sit right there with you and they eat with all the whole production crew and everyone.
Yeah.
The
Unless they're too
extras.
Hollywood and shit.
Yeah, they go
unless
eat in their
they wanna-
trailer.
Yeah, they'll go to their trailer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the people that you named, like Jim Belushi, he's big, and then John Stamos, especially him in the '90s, he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's cool of them to just like, it's like, yeah, I'm a movie star, but I'm gonna chill with them
Yeah, chill with the people. That's cool.
because millions of people were watching Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love watching that.
He didn't want to talk about Full House though when we were asking him about that.
Oh, really? He's probably over it, bro.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, stop asking me about Full House. I don't know the girl twins. I don't know what they're doing right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty
Doing
cool. He
some
was
blow. That's all we know. They were getting lit.
The anorexic twins
Yeah.
sprung.
Yeah. So, why didn't you just like keep doing that? Like, try to keep pursuing that.
I wanted to, but you're my son, and you've seen what was going on around me with my
yeah,
whole, marriage situation and stuff like that. Kind of put like a damper, the white man says, on the whole thing, because of everything that was going on. But because to be honest with you, the counterpart of my marriage, she wasn't very supportive of my activism.
oh, really?
Yeah, she wasn't. She didn't. Any opportunity she had, she didn't think she would voice her opinion. She was always giving me a thumbs down about it.
Oh, man.
When you're in a relationship and you're
Yeah.
into your activism, it's part of who you are. It's your corazón. It's in your DNA.
Yeah.
I've been at this since I was 17 years old, so I think I was born into this thing. And with activism, and you're committed to do something, there is no off and on switch. It's always on. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
go like through your little dormant stages, or you're in a hiatus for like a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're always keeping an eye or an ear out,
Yeah.
to see what's going on.
Is
and
that thing
see-
that sparks you to be like, you know what? Back
yeah,
in.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
Batman or Superman. You see someone that needs rescuing or something like that. I got to put the uniform on and go.
Yeah.
I got to get my mind straight and help them out.
That's
So
cool,
it comes
man.
in waves.
Yeah.
It comes in waves. I'll go for like a little while, like especially after the walk, everything kind of died down. But then you get people that come out of the woodwork and they say, "Hey, Lucky Man, I'm having this problem with this and that," or the police are doing this and that, and then you take a deep breath and go, "Fuck, I got to step up to the plate."
Yeah.
And throw the pitch, the first pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always there.
That's
Always.
cool, man. Yeah.
Always there.
So, do you ever think about bringing back the walk?
I've thought about it. I've had people ask me about it, including you.
Strap on the boots again.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Maybe like make it like a once a month thing, but not like an every Sunday thing. Just to put the message out there, because people are always asking about it. I can go anywhere in these barrios, whether it be National City or Shelltown, and people always remember the flag and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, where's your flag, man? Where's it at? Where you been?
Yeah, I have a lot of
You know,
homies that trip out when they find out you're my dad.
Avid was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Avid was one of
tripped
them.
out. Yeah, like, because I met him at the hookah lounge, right? So we're just like chopping it up. We're cool, whatever. Then he posted a picture of you up on, I think it's Facebook for Father's Day. And I'm like, wait, what? That's your pops? You know what I mean? Because I used to follow you before.
Okay.
And so like I was really like, I was really appreciative of what you were doing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this guy is really cool, not knowing that that it was your pops. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool, man. Yeah. I tripped out.
Like my wife that I have now, when we're somewhere, like we could be at the swap meet or something like that, and she trips out when I get people that just come out of the blue and they want to hug or they want to shake hands and stuff like that, and she trips out because some of them are like some really solid guys I don't even know, all fucking tatted and stuff like that. Orale, homie, man, keep up what you're doing and stuff like that, and keep it going. never surrender, carnal, never surrender. You know,
Yeah.
We got you. They always say, we got you, man. We got you.
Well, you've done so much, bro. Like you've done so much for people. You know, so a lot of people really appreciate that. You know.
Thanks.
Yeah, like I'm one of them. You know, that's cool. Like we need somebody to speak like that, and I'm just glad you stood up and you said, you know what, put my belt on. I'm out on the streets. Doing my footwork. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah.
I never get narcissistic over the whole thing. It's just like, to have people come up and acknowledge what I've done. It's very humbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get I don't think that that I'm king shit or anything like that. It's just the feeling of knowing that I've helped to change lives or make people think, second guess what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's the advantage. That's the reward.
That's a reward. Yeah.
I'm butthurt though with the whole Chicano Park thing where they don't want to put your mural in the park.
I'm not tripping on that.
Oh, really?
I do, yeah.
Okay,
it's a lot of politics that has to do with the Chicano Park steering committee. They don't like
really?
my dad because he said a lot of stuff.
You know what's funny? I know somebody who works to paint. He actually paints, helping the main guy, the guy who did the forget his name, the guy he did the painting for Cesar Chavez, the hand.
Yeah.
So he's kind of running that little program right now. So I could talk to him. Well, not him, but I could talk to somebody to see what's up, But yeah,
because
I'm just waiting for them to all die off, and then maybe a new generation will say, "Yeah, let's put his picture up there."
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the fucked up thing is that they're all into that politics shit, and then when Chunky died, it's definitely a no go. After Chunky died, Chunky was the only one that actually loved you out of all of them.
Yeah.
He understood your messages that you were sending and you helping out, and he understood. And then when he passed, obviously they all didn't like you, and he was the only one part of the steering committee that actually did.
But I don't lose any sleep over it because I don't lose any sleep over it because none of them, not a single one of them, whether they be brown berets or members of the committee or whatever, none of them could accomplish what I've accomplished.
Facts.
And none of them, there's not a single one of them that have the connection or with that are deep in with the homies when it comes to.
Or I could say it for you, they don't have enough balls to do what you did, because you were being nice about it. I won't. None of them. They didn't have the balls.
None of them have cornered the market when it comes to.
They don't stay at the park after dark.
That's true. That's true.
They know what goes on at the park.
Yeah.
They know what goes on in Logan and Shelton at night. My dad didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It wasn't fear. It was just the motivation to. It was always motivation to, nothing to do with being afraid or, in the beginning when I first started doing the walk. There was a community leader out of the Logan Heights area. Within a month of doing the walk, when I was with your mom, somebody had sent a message through the side of the family, saying that, so and so says, Lucky, what the hell do you think you're doing? You're gonna get yourself killed walking through Logan like that. No one gave you permission. You're gonna get shot. Something's gonna happen like that. Something's gonna, whatever. And I was like, I'm just trying to do my thing, And so it's after the close to 17 years of doing, I was like, well, where's the scratches? Where's the gunshots? Where's the somebody coming up and trying to stick me or beat the shit out of me or something? It was all, wherever I would walk, I'd get homeboys that would come up and fucking hug the shit out of me. I can't breathe, dude. Let me go. You know what I mean? But it was never disrespect.
So never nobody went up to you hey, what are you doing in this neighborhood or anything like that? Never. That's awesome.
I remember one time I was in Shelltown because when I used to come up from Logan, I used to come up National Avenue and I used to post up on the corner of 38th and National just to I called that the halfway point, just take a breather and relax. And I'd get people that would come to the liquor store, go into the liquor store, and they would come out and they would hand me Arizona iced tea or beer or something, And I remember one time there was this youngster who came up from Shelltown, came up to me and he was kind of he was drunk, and he was like asking me questions, and then he started to act like, you know, he started like hit me up and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, you need to chill out, man, like that. And this is fucking shout down, this is and that. And all of a sudden, across the street at that meat market right there, what is it, Sawaya Brothers 2?
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody go whistle, and the youngster turned around, and it was a veterano. He was like, hey, come here. And the youngster went over there, and then he was telling the youngster something, and then the youngster came back, and he goes, hey, man, sorry for disrespecting and stuff like that. And the veterano was in the background going like this. Right on, brother.
Yeah,
Keep doing what you're doing, man.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, because I was a fixture.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I was a fixture right there on 38th and National for a long time. They knew who I was. I would always post up there with a flag or with the guys that came and walked with me.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You know, so that was just like there was hardly any disrespect, you know, not from people that I knew that could do damage.
Yeah.
Never got disrespected by.
That's good because they approved of the message of what you were like doing, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that. Appreciate it. That's dope.
I liked it. It was like, it gave me like, it kind of hyped me up, you know, because when the walk was at its height, when we would hit Highland Avenue, we were like rock stars when everyone was cruising. I had like, how many of us deep? There would be like about 10 youngsters, huh?
Yeah, it was Daygo, Cinco.
Yeah, Cinco, and they were all youngsters, like 18, 19 years old, and I was the oldest cat with them, you know. And I swear, this is the truth. When we'd hit Highland Avenue on a good day when everyone was cruising, we would get chicks. One time, okay, I was on the bottom of Plaza, and there was this little white, remember the story?
No, I just know that you used to hang panties from your fucking flag.
Yeah.
Flag staff.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I want to hear this story now.
I was on the bottom of Plaza, and there was this little white car, one of them Toyota. What are the rabbits? What they call them? Rabbit something like a little. It looks like a Volkswagen, but it's more of a 4-door type.
Okay.
Volkswagen Rabbit or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what
It was at the intersection. There was a bunch of girls, and they were screaming and stuff like that. And they said, "Come here, come here!" And I'm like, "What?" They go, "Come here." And so I'm coming toward them with the flag and stuff, and there's 3 girls in the back seat, and one of the girls in the middle is doing something like this. And the other girls are like looking, and they're screaming, you know, and stuff like that. And they go, "Here, come here." So I come up to the window, and the girl in the middle gave me her underwear.
What?
Yeah, she literally took off her underwear. I remember they were like white thong underwear with little hearts and stuff on them and stuff like that. You know, and being a man, you know, I had them right there on I hung them on my flag, and I was like, "Thank you, I love you." You know,
this is what we're doing it for too.
Yeah. So we would get girls that would flash us. I got like a couple pair of underwear.
You're like a
Yeah,
little
it was
bro.
at least 3 of them that were on your flag for a little
You're
while.
a little mini celebrity, brother. Like,
Yeah, we were having fun, and because the guys were young, at the end of the night, when we'd be there on Highland, they would disappear one at a time because they would get chicks that would come pick them up so they can go get laid. That's how popular the walk was with everybody. You know, they were taking pictures of us. They wanted to be with us, and
our cousin JJ jumped in there for a little bit too because he noticed that shit. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know how JJ is, cuz.
I remember Daygo came up to me. We were on Highland Avenue. Daygo came up to me and he goes, "Hey, Lucky, I gotta go." I go, "Why, dude? We just barely got here." And he goes, "I just met this girl, man. I'm gonna go." I go, he goes, "Can you hang on to my flag for me?" I go, "Okay." I'm over here rolling it up for him. Climbs into a car with a chick and he takes off like that, you know. And so, the guys were getting laid big time.
Took advantage of the moment. He's like, "Why not?"
Yeah, we were like rock stars on Highland Avenue, man. It was like rock star status for a long time.
Well, yeah, y'all were very well known, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the camera, right?
Yeah, you guys could keep talking though.
What happened? Your camera went out?
Yeah. The battery died right now, so he has to switch it.
Because that was still recorded, so you guys could
Oh, okay.
So do you think with you were saying that was the prime, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you think now with like social media and how you have such a big presence on social media that it would be even bigger if you were to start it back up again?
I think so. Because I've had people tell me, you know, that bring it back and stuff like that, and I know that social media would put it on the map even
Especially
more.
because then so many people could live stream it, whoever joins you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it would just spread like wildfire.
I have a pretty good following on the TikTok. I have like 188 something K followers on TikTok, and over 1.1 million likes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a couple of my videos have like over 1 million views.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
But on my TikTok, I always it's always from the videos, or the content of the videos have to do with the yaki side of of who I am.
Okay.
You know, we have like a big following on TikTok. It's hashtag native TikTok. So I meet like brothers and sisters from tribes all over New Mexico, Texas, and we all collaborate and we share, you know, we put up videos and stuff. And what I've noticed about TikTok is it's a double-edged sword on TikTok. On TikTok, when we speak about, you know, the atrocities that have happened to our people for the past 500 something years, TikTok will get on there, or whoever's at the helm will try to restrict us from speaking. But yet we notice that the videos that never get pulled are chicks showing their ass and their crotches and, you know, and showing their tits and stuff like that. You know, they get millions of views and no one reports them or anything like that. And all we're doing is using our voices, and they want to restrict us from that.
How's that compare? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Double standard.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I've found myself even sending emails to the people in charge.
Yeah.
You know, at TikTok. You know, and I've had a couple of my videos pulled where I've complained directly to them, and then within a week they'll put it back up again. You know, because I make valid points on what are you guys doing, man? We're not out there, you know, using profanity or threatening anybody. We're just speaking our minds, and you guys are over here trying to suppress that. You know.
Yeah.
So if you come at them and you put them in check or whatever, you let them know what's up, then oh shit, this guy knows how to use his brain. Let's put back his video.
Yeah, yeah. Like, we don't want to get no lashback from this. Yeah.
But I noticed that I scroll through there and there's like, you know, there's women, there's a lot of young girls on there too. Barely 13, 14 and stuff like that in their rooms with little tiny shorts and stuff like that. And I'll make comments like, this must be the Chomo account.
Chomo? I don't even know what Chomo is.
Child molester.
Oh.
Come on, folks.
Shit, I don't know, bro. For all the people out there don't know what Chomo means, you know what I mean? Like,
It's a prison term, chomo.
Chomo. Child molester. Because you get a lot of these, you'll get these videos of these young girls, you know, doing their thing in the privacy of their rooms when their parents are probably sleeping or in the living
Or
room.
working hard.
oh, don't even know that they're doing?
Yeah. And then you look at the comments
With the
and
camera
some
and
of them
phone
are
that they
these
bought
older,
'em.
some of these older men that are making these sexual comments about these young girls that whose mothers are still washing their bras and underwear.
Yeah.
You know, it's a trip.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with like the people, like the haters and stuff like on there? Because I'm sure there's people always talking.
Yeah, you get a lot of haters, but you have to when you air out, when you expose yourself or share your life on social media, you have to develop like thick skin. You have to be able to roll with the punches and not really take anything to heart or get butthurt about stuff. And I mean, you're always going to get people. You're going to get people that praise what you do, but you're always going to get criticism
naysayers.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always going to get that. It goes with the territory.
So Joe Rogan says just don't read the comments.
Yeah.
Unless you want to have a little laugh, then you could read them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He says he doesn't read his comments. He says every once in a while he'll take like maybe once a week or once a month he'll take time to actually like read them, and he'll fucking just laugh at them. He's like, bro, he goes, I don't want to be a dick, but I'm doing way better than you.
How many comments do you think you get on like a live stream video?
Too many to count.
Too many to count?
Yeah.
Does it like, because I don't have TikTok, does it tell you like how many comments you get, or is it just kind of like constantly scroll
afterwards, right?
It's scrolling. It's like just, you know, just going up the page and you just kind of like look and see, okay, what did he say?
Pick
or
one
whatever.
out real quick just to answer it or whatever?
Answer the question, stuff, you know. And you get the trolls that jump on there and they try to talk shit and stuff like that. And all you got to do is
stir the pot for no reason.
Yeah, and you just hit block and block them. I call it, when I do a live stream and I get like a large group of people that are really down for my message and everything, and we're like chopping it up, then you'll get like an idiot that comes on there and starts, you know, talking shit. and I call it, oh, it's time to take out the trash. And you know who you are when you get blocked. I just took out the trash, and I just block them. And
It's
and on
because
the other side, they're thinking, fuck.
Well,
he just
yeah,
called me
like the
trash.
last time when I pulled him up on the podcast, I pulled him up and he was on his live. One of the haters say, why do we have to listen or whatever? He goes, my dad's like, I'm not forcing you to open my live. You're the one that came here. I was like, yeah, there
You see, but most
you
people,
go. Why you
most
gonna
of them,
you're gonna ask a
But
fucking
people are
stupid
like, oh,
question?
why do we care? Well, why do you watch?
Yeah,
Like,
why are you watching?
most of them just want attention, bro. That's all it is.
The little
The one
minute
attention
of fame that they get.
Yeah, the little minute high from
Yeah.
the computers. You know what I mean? Like
If it's funny
keyboard
hate,
warriors.
it's
Funny.
different. Yeah, like if it's something funny, it's different.
And normally the trolls are the ones that have those fictitious accounts with no profile pic and maybe like 2-3 followers, you know. And they
Yeah.
just get on there and just hop from one social media forum to one platform to another, just to
Or they got a big red hat on.
yeah.
We all know those ones like to try to troll you.
Do you get those though? A lot, like those red hats.
No,
No, they don't really.
The megas?
megas.
I have a lot of Trump followers.
Really?
Yeah, I have a lot of
I
Trump
find
followers.
that I find that very interesting.
Yeah, me too. You know, and they tell me they dig. Hey, man, we dig your content because, first of all, I tell them when they go Trump 2024. You know, I go, well, whatever. You know, I tell them I don't affiliate myself with any form of politics. I think it's nothing but a bunch of hypocrisy. You know, whether you a Republican, Democrat, or whatever, you guys are just, you know, religion and politics, they all go hand in hand. It's just nothing but a bunch of hypocrisy, lies,
Yeah.
brainwashing. It causes divisiveness between people, separating people and stuff. I go, I don't affiliate myself with politics, and that makes people like relax and want to follow me just in general.
Because you don't have an agenda.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't have a
Behind
political
your-
agenda. And this guy's pretty cool. He's not down with anything, just being himself.
Yeah.
You know, so I have a little bit of everybody. I have people that worship devil. I have Trumpsters. I have natives, Chicanos, people from New Zealand, the UK, you know, Australia.
Really?
Yeah. When
That's
I do live
crazy.
streams, I'll get shout outs from Australia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
man.
parts of UK. I have a friend that follows me from, where's he? Amsterdam or some shit?
Amsterdam?
Yeah. And a few from New Zealand. I have some New Zealand followers.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And on my Instagram, I have this this heavy metal band that follows me from Moscow, Russia.
Russia?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're international.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. They play some good music, so they follow me in return. They'll be liking on some of my stuff, and I'm like, right on.
That's cool.
You know. So I'm like open to everybody, you know. I don't draw like, I don't discriminate or like try to draw lines in the dirt or whatever. If you dig my stuff, then you're cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care what. Just don't. I just don't. You know, when I get somebody that jumps on my live stream, they start preaching. You know, like the Bible thumpers and stuff. I go, I'm not trying to hear that. Don't push it, or I'll just block you. You know, I don't want to hear. Save your Jesus stuff for somebody else.
Yeah, let me take out the trash real quick.
Yeah, there you go. Let me take out the trash. There you go. You know, whoever, you know, whatever their religious preferences, you know, just don't try to shove it down my throat or push it on people who don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you respect it, but don't shove it down my throat.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like that old thing though, like table manners. Like, you know, you leave politics, religion, all that stuff, you know, out of it. You know,
Yeah,
you know, it's not
Exactly.
it's not the time for that.
exactly. Yep. So I have a pretty good time when I do the social media. Like I said, you have to develop thick skin so that you learn how to not get butthurt over people's when they criticize you or call names or whatever. Just who are they? You know, they're not
Yeah.
doing it to you physically. They're not up in your face and trying to hit you or something like that. It's just words.
And on top of that, they're following you. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Well, thank you. Thanks for the comment. That's for whatever. You know what I mean? You getting me paid is all good. Like, give me my views.
Like when I do live streams, I'll share, like people will ask me about my necklaces. You know, I make all my own stuff. Like that medicine wheel I made for Louis right there. What is that, Louis Beaver skull? No, that's a bobcat.
I think. Oh yeah, Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a baby.
Oh, that's really small for a bobcat.
Yeah.
A baby.
baby bobcat.
And you made that?
Yeah, I made that.
Do you like live stream when you make them and everything?
Sometimes.
You should start doing that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What's the necklace
like,
you have?
I was just about to ask that.
I made this not too long ago. This one is like the most.
Is that a crow?
Yeah, it's crow.
Is it an actual crow?
Yeah, it's an actual crow skull.
You were saying that you wanted to learn how to do that, right? That you were supposed to go to I don't want to call it an event because that's not what it's called. It was like you said that you were supposed to go with your dad somewhere where you guys were going to make stuff like that and everything. It was like a whole gathering.
Maybe like a powwow.
Yeah, I think it was like something like that.
Likely.
That's what we need to do.
A
We
lot
need
of
to go to a powwow.
or a sweat lodge, so I could last.
I remember you used to do sweat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember I went on that in a sweat lodge. Never been in one.
I've been in a sauna.
Oh, it gets,
I don't know. It's a
Wait, so have I?
That's not the closest I've been to.
that's the American version.
Yeah, I've been to a sauna. 24 hours. That's about it.
So what exactly is a sweat lodge?
Sweat lodge is
It's a
like,
ceremony.
yeah,
Is
it's called a Nippy Ceremony, and what it is like a igloo looking little hut, and you go inside there, and in the middle of it there's like a pit, and on the outside they heat up these like lava rocks or these large rocks, and they take it inside and they put it in the middle of the pit, and it's like a glowing hot rock where it just glows, you know. Mm-hmm. And then you sit inside there, and then
They
you
have stages.
Yeah. You have like a sweat lodge leader that sits in there, and he's the one who sings the songs and plays the drums and does the chants or tells stories and stuff. And when you're in there, they close it. They close the flap, and they do it like in intervals where you just like sit through like four doors, something like that, like for like a couple hours.
Oh damn!
And so
I didn't last when I was a kid. Nope.
No?
I got out like the first
died.
like 20 minutes.
You did?
Is that
Yeah.
hot?
Oh, it gets hot. I think I
Yeah.
only lasted until the second stage. I think it's more than 4, but they just go in there and they put more rocks every time, and they close it, and the person pours the water right
you pour
on.
the water, and it's just like really intense.
And if you
hot steam, and then you're in the pitch black.
Oh
Yeah, so you can't see
the
shit.
whole purpose of
nothing.
it is like being in your mother's womb and being born again.
okay.
So what the sweat lodge does, it's like a cleansing type ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It takes all the anything negative away from you. It's just like
Toxins and all that
all the
stuff.
toxins, all the negative energy and everything. Like it's like being born, like in your mother's womb, and then when you come out, when it's finished, you've been reborn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the whole purpose, like being in your mother's womb and just cleansing, and then coming out and be like rejuvenated.
Yeah.
You know, and there's just something different that you feel about yourself from that point on.
Yeah,
Must be.
and it's a
That's
trip because they
crazy.
actually let the Native Americans still do it. They in prison.
Really?
Yep.
It's a religious thing.
Yep.
That's why, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they still let the Chicanos will get into it, obviously, because that's where the
difference.
Spaniard, the Spaniards had raped us or whatever and turned them Mexicans. So the Mexicans will go in there with the natives, and the natives will show them.
Show love. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you walk out skinny afterwards, I bet.
Bro, that shit, it goes for a few hours.
Yeah.
Really?
See, there'll be like a certain amount of time that you're inside there chanting and everything and sweating, and then they'll let the flap open, and then that'll give you the opportunity to step out if you can't handle it anymore. You know, it's like too intense for you. So that's your opportunity to say, okay, I'm done right now. And then you.
Yeah.
Has anybody passed out in there?
Oh, yeah.
Most likely.
there's been people
Oh,
that-
yeah.
There's been people that come out there'll be people that'll be able to hang, you know, and then when they come out and all of a sudden you hit with the cold air, boom. I've seen people pass out, hit the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It sounds intense.
Yeah.
So, and another thing that they do is they'll give you fresh mint or sage if you're starting to like kind of like have a panic attack in there, and you just like try to breathe it in. That's what they did for me, because I only lasted until the second. Because once you're in there, they close it. They're not going to let you go.
Yeah, they're not gonna
especially that you're sitting next to people.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, kind of like a rite of passage though too.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
what
it
it
gets intense.
Really?
How many people are in there at a time?
A shitload of us.
10.
A lot.
So that's
And you
including
It depends,
bodies.
It
like-
depends
right?
on the size of the Inipi.
No, yeah.
On
So
the size of the hut.
sometimes they'll build like a 2 level where the dude that's working it will sit at the bottom and he's the one that's pouring it, they could have 2 levels where it's like 10 on this side and then 10 up top. Yeah. So instead, it kind of like bleachers. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
And you
like I want to do it now because I was too little. I was like burning up in there. It makes bro, your body gets hot.
I bet, man. I kind of want to experience it, but then I don't want to talk too soon.
Like, nah, you could always.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get in there, pass out.
Do you remember Six Eagles, mijo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did Sweat Lodge with.
No, I remember we sat there for a few hours waiting for you and Six Eagles, and you guys were fucking shaking the rattle and fucking just like yelling in there. I was like, man.
Yeah.
And you guys came out. Everything was just fucking drenched.
Yeah. He was
he
did the ceremony and everything. He played the drums and sang, and he was very powerful when it came to being.
He was an intense person.
Yeah. He was.
He'd been to prison and all that shit. I remember the thing that they had on the news where he's talking to the at-risk youth with you.
Yeah, the kids.
And like it starts to get intense what he's talking about, and he fucking like rips off his shirt and he's like, "You see these tattoos?" I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah.
He was an intense dude. He's like, "I've been to prison." He goes, "I've done what you did." And he's like, "That's not the right route to go." Well, he was intense.
Yeah, he was.
And he was like super fucking native though. Like he loved the shit out of my dad and loved taking him places.
I've always had people that like people that had a lot of credibility or whatever that would attach themselves to me because of my commitment to La Raza in the movement, you know, and they saw that I was genuine and I would attract like or have these people that been to prison for a long time and they were soldiers in there and they've, you know, killed blacks and fought with the guards and stuff like that, and you know, like what's his name that used to walk with me in the beginning? Neto was notorious in the beginning. I used to walk with this guy, or this guy used to walk with me. His name was Neto. He was from OTNC, and the cops hated him. National City PD hated him.
Logan did too, because he would take off his shirt and he would walk through Logan with the OTNC on him.
He was intense like that.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was a soldier, and they didn't fuck with him because he was a true sureño. He was. He had
certain tattoos on him that the homeboys would see, and they're like, "Oh well, we can't."
Yeah, he got that reputation.
Oh
yeah, he did. I would go meet him when we were doing the walk, because he was in the first few years of the walk with me, huh?
Yeah.
I would go meet him. He'd already be at the park. Lucky I'm here. We talk on the phone. I go, okay, I'll see you there. And I'd come there, and he'd be right there with his, like a cholo with his shirt over his arm like this, just standing there with the flag, OTNC, right there, right by the Zapata statue. He'd be right there or near the kiosco.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be
this was way before
people from Logan and stuff right there, and they just kind of look at him, and no one would fuck with him, you know. And so, to make a long story short, we'd make our way to Highland Avenue, and I remember one day we were on Highland Avenue. We're over there by the Roberto's. We were like a couple. We were like a couple buildings up from the Roberto's taco shop, and I was standing with Neto, and NCPD came into the taco shop, and they were harassing some people that were right there, and then one of the cops saw me. He made eye contact with me, and he goes, "Hey, come here for a minute." And I'm like, I go, "What do you want? We're busy."
Yeah.
He goes, "What are you doing with that guy?" I go, "What do you mean that guy?" He goes, "Ernesto, what are you doing with him?" I go, "He's part of what's going on, you know, the walk." He goes, "Well, do you know that this guy's notorious for, in prison, he's killed, you know, people from other, you know, like black guerrilla family members, and he's allegedly responsible for the death of a couple prison guards and this and that." And I go, "You know what he's done is none of my business, you know, and I don't appreciate you trying to like, if you're going to say anything about him, you need to say it to him. You want me to bring him over here so you could say something to him?" You know, and he'd be like, the cop was like, "Nah, you shouldn't hang around with him. He's bad news." I go, "He's bad news to you, but he's raza to me." That's what I told the cop. You know, I go, "If anyone is bad news around here, is you. You don't belong here. This is not your neighborhood. You know, you live somewhere else when you clock out. You know, you're not from around here." I go, "We live here. You work here." I told him, I go, "Nice try," you know.
Yeah.
And he was, well, fuck it then. I was trying to help you. I go, "You're not helping me." Yeah. So, you know, it was a guy from the gang detail.
The gang unit and all that stuff. Hey, you must get a lot of that from them.
Yeah.
Because of the people you associate with, pretty much, you know, or who you're trying to help.
Yeah. But they're kind of like, I keep them at bay nowadays. Because they've come to realize that even though I do what I can for the homies or for the raza or whatever, you know, I don't involve myself. I still stand alone. So there's nothing that they can try to implicate me in or try to connect me with or stuff like that, because they know that I just do my own thing and I stand alone. You know, there was this one captain from the NCPD. He goes, you know what? He goes, believe it or not, a lot of people here at the department, we have a lot of respect for you because you stand alone. You know, you don't have anyone, you don't follow anybody. You connect with people in order to help them, and then when you're done, you just step away, and that's what you're known for here in this department. That's what this cop told me one time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. At least now you know where you stand in their eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I think it's dope that it carried on like over the years, and how many followers you have on TikTok and how many people follow you on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
a lot of good people. Maybe I should bring
deserve
back
it.
the walk like once a month or something like that.
And it's cool that they brought back what is it called? Cruising again.
Oh yeah. But they stopped it again, right?
Yeah, they did. They stopped it.
And National City, they stopped it already.
Again?
Yeah, again.
It only happened the one time.
Yeah, and
The
then
one day.
The one Friday.
But they're not over there stopping the cruising over there in El Cajon and
Well, they stopped it because
Escondido.
they wanted like so many fees to do it.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
like they didn't let us. It was that they were like,
No, I know they
yeah.
wanted to pay the cops,
Yeah.
but they're already getting paid. So why can't they just
so
do
they
their
were
job?
like, why are we gonna pay so much to drive it up and down the street?
Yeah.
but they don't have to.
But they don't do that in Coronado when they go drive their oldies and their bombs over there.
Well,
Oh,
then,
Coronado?
Yeah, they
Or
cruise
Elko.
over there all the time.
and then Logan, they still have the cruising that's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and El Cajon,
Well, they can't
too.
touch Logan too much.
El Cajon
That's
City,
a-
they have cruising like every Thursday or something like that out there in El Cajon.
And Escondido too.
Yeah.
But they don't give them nothing. They don't give them no shit, right?
Nah,
Uh,
not at all.
No fees, nothing.
I think National City was the only one that stacked on that much.
Highland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Highland. How can I
No, but they shut down like a whole like 3 blocks over there in Escondido for all those bombs. They all line up, they all park and everything. They all park sideways and
I
They
just thought it was
white
like
privilege bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, I just thought it was just a shot to Mexicans. Like I was like,
Oh, it is because like I was saying, they don't do that in Coronado. They take up the whole fucking their avenue or whatever the fuck that is
shut
over
down
there.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Real quick.
They just let it happen.
Exactly. Smells like discrimination, I think.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like it.
They want to charge these people like $1,800 just to, just for the fees of.
And it was like per day. It wasn't even like
That's
Yeah.
fucking
Why-
stupid.
it wasn't even like
Is
for
El
the
Cajon
whole
getting
summer
charged
or
for
anything
that?
like that. It was like
Is El Cajon getting charged for all that? Nah, right?
Mm,
I doubt it.
it's politics. Politics got involved. And then the mayor, she joined in when.
Was there any fights? Was there anything that
Um,
broke out that day or
I heard of like maybe one thing, but even then I don't think it was anything like really big. It was kind of
Yeah.
just like, you could have been something that happened any other day too.
Or maybe they were just looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
They were just like, well, they'll fuck it up somehow themselves. Like, you know what I mean?
Because it wasn't even like that's what stopped it. It was that they were just trying to, they're like, okay, well, it went good, but if you want to continue doing it, then you had to pay this much every time.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they said if anything, there was just too much drinking or many people that were out there drunk and stuff like that. I don't know. They said there was this incident I heard from council member Ron Morrison, because we're pretty tight. He was telling me there was an incident by the laundromat over there by what's that hometown buffet where it used to stand over there.
right. Price breakers and
Right
all
there,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a laundromat right there, and on the night of the cruise night, there was some people. There was this guy that was went to the laundromat to do his laundry, and he was taking his laundry out, and a group of guys came up and asked him where he was from, and he was like, "What are you talking about? I'm here to do my laundry. I don't gangbang." And I guess they didn't get the answer that they wanted from him, so they took his laundry.
What the fuck?
They walked off
They
with a
took his
couple
dirty
baskets.
chonies?
Yeah, they
These
walked off
fools.
with a couple baskets of his laundry.
They had a little bit too much of Fifi night.
Yeah.
They just took his laundry from him. That's what I heard.
Shit, what they do? Throw it on the street?
They probably did. They probably maybe threw it in the
They're probably
dumpster.
smelling this shit.
Some of the dirty.
Taking them
shit
back to
draws.
when they were locked up and shit.
I was telling Ron Moore, I asked him, I go, they took his laundry? And he goes, yeah, they took a couple baskets of his dirty laundry before he could take it into the laundromat. I was like, what the heck? What'd they do with his laundry? He goes, I don't know. Maybe they tossed it somewhere or something in a dumpster.
That's fucked up.
Just out of spite.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah. They said there was a couple incidents, but nothing really major.
Yeah.
The biggest concern, there was too many people. That's what they said.
Yeah, I heard that people that should get like 2 blocks, it was taking them like hours to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I took my bike cruising on that night, and from Redbird Market, where we stay in that area, I went all the way down Highland, and almost every parking lot along Highland Avenue, all the way up into 5th and 4th Avenue on the other side by the card washes were packed with people. There was enough people for a Lollapalooza concert or something. Right? That's how many people.
Or a
were
Mexican
out there.
hangout.
A Mexican now.
There was another.
Did you hear about that, Pop? The gym owner yelling at.
I saw
this-
that.
Yeah, yelling at this lady, telling her it's not some Mexican hangout. So that one dude, Scar, you guys know Scar, right? The one with the he has like a devil horn on both of his head, or
Where
both
was this
sides,
at?
in L.A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So Scar, he's from Cholo Tries. You guys ever watch that?
Never.
Where they try fucking like kale and shit. Where it's a whole bunch of cholos, and one of them,
Oh, I think I
He's-
do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
he's a big time activist. He's the one that when they bullied that dude and they knocked over his fruit stand, he went over
Yeah.
there and they bought everything. So they went and they stood in front of his fucking thing. They brought all the lowriders and everything, and they wrote a sign and it says, "Just enjoying this big Mexican hangout."
Oh yeah.
What gym was
Yeah.
this?
So I forget what the fuck it's called. We won't even name it.
It's like a
some
little
fucking-
like local gym though.
I guess he's just a big swole dude, but he was just being a fucking dick. And then he said it wasn't anything racial, but from what his wife said, he's kind of like a racist asshole. He's just an asshole in general.
That's what his own wife said.
Yeah, his ex-wife.
Oh, his ex-wife.
Yep.
Oh, no wonder he has an ex-wife. You didn't see the video?
No, I didn't see
No,
it.
he's like
So
this.
she's kind of like recording, like she has it down on her side, and he's talking shit to her because it's a juice bar. He opened up a juice bar and he has his gym, and it was obviously when you bring fucking the Mexican fresas and everything, they're gonna want that. So they were selling a lot, and they were like beating him basically, and he didn't like it, so he went up to them telling them they need to shut that shit down, even though that was his employer, and he had asked to bring vendors, so she brought one of them because that was her family, and he was basically
you're talking about the little cart.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw
So-
that video.
So he's like, this ain't no Mexican hangout, and basically it was like kicking him out.
In my juice opening in my
He was trying to use his
Are you kidding
his
me?
roid rage intimidation.
Oh, yeah, that's what she said that he had to his ex-wife, that he was big time. Yep.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
And a lot of his ex-employees too are coming out of the woodwork saying that he's actually a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and I saw there was a follow-up video with this Mexican girl who goes there to work out, and she goes, I'm there all the time, and I was surprised to hear him or to see him act like that. She goes, I'm never going to that gym again.
Nice.
And all the guys from Mayan MC were going there to work out because he has a big reputation. He has like all this nice shit in his gym, and they were going there to go work out, and they would do videos with them, and they're like, never again, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they ended up, all those dudes just posted up outside of his shit having fucking tacos and fucking everything.
His own mouth fucked him over.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
Just like that.
And then he put out an apology, and they're like, it seems forced. Well, obviously. It's
He had
forced.
to because of business.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
he lost a lot of business. He's in L.A.
What an idiot.
For real.
Just like that one white man, that Chris Shelby guy, that big beer belly white man that was kicking that the paletero's cart. Did you see that one on
No, I
TikTok?
haven't seen that one.
You got to see that one. And then the following weekend, the raza showed up right in front of his house, and he was in there hiding in the top floor of his bedroom. Like, they show him peeking out like that, and then kind of like ducking down.
I think I might have seen that.
You know, yeah, his name. He's on Facebook. It's Chris Shelby, and
We'll pull all that shit up.
Yeah.
they show him on
Go
TikTok.
comment
He
on
comes
his
up
shit.
and he's kicking, talking a bunch of racist shit and kicking the man's cart. Get the fuck out of here and stuff like that. And and then the following weekend there was like hundreds of people that came and showed up right there on his block and set up a tent, and they were selling stuff, food and different things like that, telling them, come on down.
They had a mariachi band and everything. Yeah. See, but I love that they're doing that now. Like a lot of people are reuniting and going against that. Instead of letting that shit fly.
Yeah, and the one that Scar helped out is the one. She was this chick by the Hollywood sign, and they had knocked her shit over, and they had pushed all her shit over, and it all emptied out, and they ended up going over there and bought all her shit. So she's like, Scar was like, don't worry about the price, just like serve everybody, and then you tell us what the total is at the end.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And these are the ones from the would you say this?
Cholo Trice?
Cholo Trice, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two guys that like they try food from like all
Yeah,
over, right?
or they dressed up as hipsters too.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck is this, man? Yeah. They're cool as fuck. That's awesome. One of them is Mexican and Puerto Rican. He's fucking hilarious. He reminds me of JJ. Super fucking funny dude.
Whatever happened to JJ?
Locked up.
in short terms, yeah.
Yeah, short terms. Locked up.
I always liked JJ. I always thought he was cool people. He was really tight with his mom,
Yeah.
Tia Gloria.
Today's actually
her birthday, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Happy birthday, Tia.
Happy birthday, Tia. I remember she was always down with the walk, Tia Gloria. I'd go by the house and say hello to her.
Oh, yeah. She loved the shit out of you. I remember that.
Yeah. Take pictures together. Hey, mijo, what are you doing? I remember she'd be at Chicano Park and she'd come up to me, and even during the time where Tommy and them were hating on me and stuff, they would see Gloria come up and, with her pink shirt on for breast cancer and stuff, come up and hug me, and they just kind of like look, and stuff. I never got.
Well, she's Miss Chicano Park.
What's that?
She was Miss Chicano Park.
Yeah.
That was her park.
With Tia Gloria?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was always up there with Gracie.
Yeah.
And who else was there?
JJ, whenever she could
JJ.
find him.
Yeah. Gracie would be there. Tia Gloria. And what is
Margaret.
No, not Margaret. And who else? And everything. She looks really bad, man. God. Hope she doesn't watch this live stream.
It's all right. But yeah, it's her birthday, and hopefully X-Men made a shout out to her because it's Sunday, right?
Mm.
So he most likely did because he loved the shit out of her. She was always calling every single Sunday.
Yeah, I remember. And she used to give a shout out to all her sons.
List of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
He let her have all the airtime.
And your Theo Norman too. She'd give a shout out to him. I would always give her a shout out to Theo Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was cool people.
I would always make fun of her whenever I went over there, because she always mixed up her S and her H's with CH, and then she would mix up her CH's with her SH's. So she would say
Chicken?
share, chicken.
Want some chicken?
I'm washing my novellas. I was like, I didn't know you could wash them, Thea.
Oh, God.
Shut up. Yeah, she's cool people. Rest in peace.
Hello, Juliet.
Hello there, who's this?
Gloria.
Gloria, how you doing?
Pretty good, and you?
I'm blessed. What can I do for you, sweetie?
Oh, I just want to say hi to all my boys, the Salcidos and Solices. Want to tell them I love them with all my heart. And and I want to say hi to my nephew, Louis, to all my familia, all my boys.
Trying to explain it.
Like the layout?
No, just like the amount of people. Is it mostly love, or is it half and half?
Mostly love. A lot of respect. A lot of props. Praise and stuff like that. And it comes from all walks of life. Like I said, I have a lot of people from a lot of Trumpsters that follow me. I have a lot of people from the deep South that fly the Confederate flag, hardcore rednecks. I have a lot of those. Yeah, I have some hardcore rednecks that follow me.
They love that native shit for some reason.
They
That's
do, man. They
weird,
really
though,
crap. My
because-
grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee, God damn it.
But I don't understand it. Where's the hate coming from? If like, you know what I mean? Like, where's that hate coming from? If they're like so like about it, you know what I mean? But they still have that core hate for people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And you said your TikTok is mostly native stuff?
Yeah, it's hashtag native TikTok.
Native TikTok.
And the majority of the content is like my own philosophy with the native edge to it, of course, or that native like spice to it or whatever. And people dig on it. They like it. They're always telling me, I dig your wisdom and I dig where you're coming from. And, you know, I could relate to it. And they come from all races and faces.
Earlier you mentioned a powwow. What's a powwow?
A powwow is like an intertribal gathering of people from natives from all different nations, whether it be Yaqui, Apache, Hopi, and then you have they have it's like a huge picnic, big family picnic of different people from different tribes, and they all do their dances, and they're even incorporating the danza azteca in there now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's super cool. One of my teammates, my friend, Ilimile McFarland, she fought for Bellator. She held the Bellator championship, and she's really into that. She, with a lot of her winnings that she had got, she would help push Native women through college.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then she also had, I forget what his name is. I don't know if it was Dancing Eagle or something Eagle. And one of her first fights that were televised, she came out with him and he was dancing in back of her.
Really?
Yeah. She's super into it. Well, obviously the Hawaiians are native. We're all part of that native. We're always here first. They were over there in Hawaii before they got decolonized. And so she's all into that shit. She's super into that. The missing Native Americans, she's into funding that. She's super fucking down there. She's awesome.
Cool.
That's cool. So she could definitely relate. You know.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff. That's
all her
crazy.
people. Yeah, they're raped and fucking killed the same way. Yeah. And then I think her last ones, she would have the Hawaiians come out and they were holding those big like bamboo like bow staffs and they were chanting. She's real spiritual. She's awesome. She's an awesome cat.
Well, just like the Spaniards, you know, they did what they did in Mexico and raped and pillaged, and that's where the raza came from, the Mexicanos, a mixture of the Spanish and the indigenous people from Mexico.
Yeah.
And so when the Spaniards did their thing in Mexico, they also went over to the Philippines, and they occupied the Philippines for 300 years.
Which is why we all have the same last names as them over there.
And that's why they have certain, I think the numbers are the same, like uno, dos, tres.
Yeah, like
For them, the
like
same.
like my mom's maiden name is Paraiso.
Yeah, that's Filipino. Yeah.
Even though it's
more popular with the Filipinos as opposed to Mexicanos.
Yeah.
Paraiso, Bustamante, Bautista. You know, there's Morales is there. And I learned a lot from, you know, with the second marriage, being married to Filipino and like hardcore Filipino from the island, born there, educated there. My wife now comes from a family that was politically affiliated in the Philippines. Oh, wow. And if you know anything about politics in the Philippines, it's like Mexico, where the families literally try to kill each other off. You know what I mean? They're families that are politically affiliated are usually enemies with other families that are politically affiliated, and they literally try to off each other.
Really?
You know, for that position to rule over or be a mayor of a province or something like that, you know. So when she was growing up, she was raised up in this politically affiliated family, and they grew up having money. So when she was growing up, she grew up with a nanny and everything like that, and a big home and everything. And because the family was politically affiliated and there was enemies of other families, and they supported the MPAs, which was the National People's Army, which is kind of like a rebel group in the mountains. When they were growing up and they hit a certain age, they had to learn how to carry guns.
That's a trip because your granddaughter, my daughter Ilana, her grandpa was actually I think it was a president of Panama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you look up my ex's last name, her grandpa was like the president of Panama.
Oh.
Because my daughter is Mexican Panamanian.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a trip. I like looked into it. I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's cool. So she comes from a political family too. I'm like,
It's a lot.
and
like
he was
Mexico.
super like too though. He was like, they loved him over there.
It's a lot like Mexico. It's like very the police and the government's very corrupt, you know, and they literally try to off each other like the mafia. And so when she said she was going into high school into college, they had to learn how to carry and use guns. And she goes, you know, in the Philippines, just like Mexico, we wore uniforms. Even in college, you wore a uniform. You know, you wore your school uniform. And she said she goes, I used to have to wear my skirt. It was hard to put the my Glock and hold it in my skirt and keep my sweater
That
shut.
just sounds crazy.
And she goes, I remember one time, she goes, the police or the whoever they were raided the school, and they were searching the students for weapons. And she goes, I had to run to the bathroom and I had to hide my gun inside the women's bathroom so they wouldn't arrest me for carrying a gun.
That is
stuff,
crazy.
yeah.
Dude, just to think about it.
Have you been to the Philippines yet, Pop?
No, I want to go. Daisy wants me to go to the Philippines.
Marco's been there.
I know Marcos has been there. Yeah, how'd you like it?
Amazing, bro.
Yeah, that's what I hear. A lot of people tell me, go.
To the main island, you know, I didn't go to Manila or nothing. I went down south to the island of Visayas.
Oh, okay.
A spot called Iloilo.
Oh,
And so right there is like, it's kind of a tourist attraction now too, but mainly because it's like the central focus of the resorts down there.
yeah.
Boracay, you know, stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. And it's different over there, and yeah, it's the same. You know, it's amazing. Like, they're real cool with just like whoever you are, like they're just gonna find you in there and stuff like that.
Right.
They're gonna just bring you in. They're gonna real hospitality, so like kind of like Japan too. You know, it's in that sense like they all have that same type of nature where like they just kind of want to help whoever's around.
Yeah. Very hospitable people. Very giving people. They share their food, everything.
How did that weather feel though, dog?
Well, it was hot.
Fucking muggy.
Can't even breathe. It's not that humid. It was chilling enough, like, you know, 80, humid, felt real hot, but in the areas where you got the, you know, beaches and stuff like that, man, is it amazing.
Yeah.
You'll be sunshine, like, out of nowhere, it just starts raining hard on you, and you're in the water, and just, like, whatever. It stops raining 5 minutes later, and it's just hot again, and but it was cool, man.
And then he had one of the best experience with.
Want to go to Philippines.
And then he had one of the best experience with hookah over there.
Oh, yeah.
It was like on the beach and shit.
Yeah, at Boracay, the resort, there was these, I can't really pinpoint where they were from, but they were for sure like Middle Eastern. But they had right on the beach, they had, you know, seats on the sand, and you're right, the water's coming up, whatever, and you're just smoking hookah, chilling. Nice.
Sounds like my kind of vibe.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you drink beer, San Miguel is a delicious beer that they have from the Philippines.
Yeah,
It's
San
really
Miguel.
good.
Yeah. Or Red Horse.
Red Horse was good too, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit will get you fucked up though.
Red Horse.
I've tried Red Horse.
Yeah,
This is hard.
That's potent.
That one's stronger than for sure.
That puts the OD to shame.
Yeah, Mickey's? What Mickey's? What are you talking about?
Red Horse. Got a kick. But she was my wife is from a province called Bangued Abra, and it's in Ilocos Sur, and they speak a dialect called Ilocano.
Oh, okay.
So she knows her native language Ilocano, and she speaks Tagalog and
There's like
English, of course. And
There's
then
like
she
1,000
knows
fucking
Spanish, too.
dialects over there, right?
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, there's like over 100 different dialects in the Philippines.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Heard of that?
That's how it was too with the people that I was with. Ilongo was the dialect that they spoke from Iloilo.
Yeah.
But they also knew, you know, Tagalog.
Yeah.
And then they knew perfect English.
Yes.
And also like they'd be like they knew I spoke Spanish, like they'd be like, oh, like say this in Spanish, and they would say it. They'd have me say it, and they would repeat it because they knew the words already. Because Philippines is, you know, they have the same lot of the same words.
Yeah.
Kind of like Arabic is a lot of same, words in Spanish.
Right.
Just like that, like they were so fluent in Spanish too. I'm like, whoa, like what the heck?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, like my Habibis, they be rolling their R's really fucking good. Well, they have to over there in their language. They roll a lot of their R's, so their Spanish is fucking good. When you tell them to say something or you ask them to,
Yeah.
bro, they sound. It
Really?
sounds it sounds clean, bro. Because like I told you, the OG in the kitchen with me, he's from TJ, so he always like he'll say a word and they'll repeat it. Fucking clean, bro.
Clean as ours.
Yeah.
And when you're with someone who's Filipino, then you learn that, and when it comes to their rice is like 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Rice. Breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Everything with rice.
everything with rice.
And they don't like to
Yeah.
be called Asian, right?
No,
They like to be called Pacific Islanders.
Filipinos.
Filipino Pacific Islanders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're kind of like in the category of Asian
Yeah.
people.
Well, that's where it is, right? Asia? Like near
Well,
that area?
it's considered part of Asia, I guess. Yeah.
But they're not because
everyone
obviously it's an island.
They're Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
They did not like. I asked them just to wonder, and none of them considered themselves Asian. They are
Yeah.
like, no, we're Pacific Islander. We're Filipinos. We're separate.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we're separate from the Japanese and Chinese and Vietnamese and yeah,
Well, because their shit is an island.
yeah.
That's what it is. Not connected to nothing.
And their food is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it with that little
Man.
egg abortion pop. I can't do that.
The
Oh,
Balut.
When I
Balut.
first-
Wait,
when I
what
first
is-
got there-
Balut.
When I first got there, there was a little street vendor outside of the spot that we first arrived at. And it was like they were selling elote, tamales. They were like, balut, like
Balut.
walking around with the igloo.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So
Balut.
they made me try it. And at first I was like, oh man, that sounds kind of weird. But I tried it. Man, it tastes just like eggs. There's nothing special to it. You just put a little salt on it and it's straight. It's just hard-boiled eggs. That's all it is.
the biggest thing for me was that they said sometimes the beak is like formed, so you get that crunch in there.
It was a little crunch
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
but
so I was like, I don't know if I
but you
could.
don't taste it.
Yeah,
You don't taste
but
it.
just knowing that you just chewed on beak is like
Yeah.
that's what weirds me out.
Or sometimes you could see the
feathers and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one
yeah.
I had, you saw that it was a little chicken inside.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It was
Yeah,
there.
it's a duck.
It's a duck, right? It's
Oh,
not chicken.
whatever it
Yeah,
might be,
Yeah, a duck.
I thought, I always thought it was chicken.
it's just a
Damn.
bird, some
It's a
poultry,
bird,
some
it's a little
poultry.
bird.
I don't think I would be able to do that.
Like,
Like,
chicken leg, that's why I didn't know if it was a difference.
Yeah,
It's actually duck embryo. Yeah, and it's crunchy.
I bet them bones.
You definitely gotta acquire a taste for that.
I fuck with
That sounds
lumpia
weird,
though.
man.
I fuck with lumpia.
I fuck with lumpia
Shit.
too. Shit.
Oh my god, they eat mangoes after every meal. It's rice, whatever they eat, and then after every meal you gotta eat mangoes.
Oh yeah,
Mangoes from Guimaras, bro, so delicious.
that's
What
what my
is
wife
that?
says. She goes, the mangoes in the Philippines are way better
way
than
better,
over here.
way
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
Sweet, they're just fantastic.
I've learned how to master the art of making rice. Being with someone who's full blood Filipino like that, yeah,
I think you have to at that point. You know what I mean?
But
To be like, Lucky, make me rice, and I go, okay,
yeah, but you're
Here comes rice.
but you're being humble.
yeah.
You know how to cook.
But do you do rice cooker or do it out of an actual pot?
The rice cooker.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I do that thing where you measure with your finger like this.
Yeah, every
with the water.
The OG way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see the comedian Jokoy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he talks about making rice, he's always talking about his mom. That dude's funny as hell, man. A lot of. I mean, when I listen to his jokes and he's talking about his people like that, I'm like, yep, I know.
Yeah, Jokoy is cool, man. I met him actually at a bar once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
really like, yeah. It was by accident. Like I just went to a bar in downtown. He just happened to be there because I guess
just
was
did a
doing
show, right?
Yeah, he was gonna do a comedy show the next day, and he what did he do? He had like 2 beers in his hand, and I'm like, I was talking to him, chopping it up, like, hey man, like I like what you're doing. This and I used to see you on Chelsea Handler. That's where I know you from. And he's like, oh yeah, hey man, can you do me a favor? I'm like, what? These they just gave me these beers. Do you want them? Like I got to perform the next day. I'm like, yeah, I'll take them. Fuck it. So yeah, man, he's a cool guy, bro. He's down to earth.
Yeah, that's another star that I heard that was really fucking cool in person. Like, especially where he comes from. Yeah, he likes the people. Especially that he did a show over there in the Philippines.
So
Yeah, yeah.
He had to go back.
So what's the knuckle thing for the rice?
My dad knows it.
What's
He'll
that?
tell you.
The knuckle thing you said for the rice?
No, you know that you have the right amount of water is when you stick your finger into the rice.
Okay.
The water line comes right up to the first line on the tip of your finger. That's when you know that you
Have enough water?
have enough water for your rice.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're making the rice, you submerge when you're making the rice, you put water in it and then you clean the rice.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like milky white, it has
Yeah.
that white, and you dump that out. And you usually do it twice. You clean it again twice, and then you
Thank you.
Rice, man. I'm telling you, that's crucial. Tell the people.
yeah, you got to clean your
Man,
rice.
Clean the rice.
And that's what I learned from her. And then you fill it up again, and then you have enough water is when you stick your finger in there, and here's the rice, and you touch it like this, and when the water comes up to about right here, that's when you know you have enough water.
And you just touch the rice, right? You ain't digging
Yeah.
that in there. You just right on the
touch
top of it? Okay.
right on the surface of the rice, and the water comes up to right here, above the rice, like that, and then I'm good to go, and you're
I
ready
gotta
to cook
educate yourself, you know?
But that's crucial with the rice cooker, because
Yeah.
it'll do the work for you. If you do off of
Like a pot?
by itself, that it's a little different.
Yeah,
It's 2-to-1 rice to water,
Okay.
yeah,
and then you gotta look at it. Once it starts boiling, then you bring it down to a small simmer, and then you let it sit there for about 20 minutes, and that'll be clutch.
yeah,
It's a little different, but rice cookers are, man, they're genius.
yeah. Does all the work for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I always tell people about my dad's fucking fried chicken.
I haven't made fried chicken in a while.
Remember his fried chicken?
No, I was saying, you know
Fried
what your
chicken,
dad put
huh?
me on, though? And to this day, when I get it all the time still, is the Velveeta with cheese with the sausage in it.
Oh,
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, it's kind of weird. But then I tore that shit up.
remember that we used to make it the Velveetas and cheese, and then you would chop up the kielbasa and
Yeah.
cook the kielbasa.
Yeah, I
That's what
remember
he's
that.
talking about. That you put them on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, it's been a while.
because we always make that on party.
I've become a stranger to a lot of the usual recipes because, being with a Filipino, you just kind of like make that transition to eating their food as opposed to like Mexican food or anything else. I've never
yeah.
I've never eaten so much fish in my life, man. I eat fish almost every day. When you're married to Filipino, lots of fish, lots of vegetable. Not so much the rice, a little bit. I mean, she likes the rice more than I do. I just put like a little bit or something, but always lots of fish, lots of gulay, which is a vegetable, stuff like that. So they have a pretty good diet, except for when it comes to like their baboy, which is the pork, or baka, which is the beef and stuff. That's when you got to really monitor your fat intake.
Yeah.
Because they really get into that too. They'll do it.
And there's a big portion of food like that they always do. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we go to family, the family get-togethers, I always make fun of the, I always compare them to the raza. I made
'Cause of the pig?
I made Daisy laugh one time. That's her name, Daisy. I made her laugh one day. I go, you guys are like similar to in front of her family, we were just all sitting around. I go, you guys are similar to the Mexicans, but a little bit more peaceful. I go, when we have parties, when the raza has parties, toward the end of the parties, we're all throwing chingazos. When you guys are at the end of the parties, you guys are all drunk. You guys grab a mic and start singing karaoke.
Facts. They can all sing, bro. It's crazy.
Marcos knows about that. The karaoke shit.
We're in the front yard throwing down with our cousins, our uncle, or whoever we could fight. You guys are all, I love you, or singing some stupid shit.
Facts, for real.
Journey
I see
songs
that.
and stuff.
Oh yeah, they definitely singing Journey now.
Man, but the crazy thing is they know the lyrics down. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I barely know my own lyrics.
Well,
like,
you know the guy from Journey, the lead singer, he's Filipino.
Arnel Pineda.
Yeah, he's from the Philippines too.
I have pictures of me and Arnel. Remember, I met him.
Yeah.
Me and Daisy, we went to the what was it? We spent the weekend at the Viejas Casino, and Arnel was live there with not with Journey. He has his own group when he's not with Journey.
Yeah.
They're called forgot the name of the guy. But just a bunch of Filipino cats and him jamming. And we went to one of his concerts, and he personalized a CD. He autographed a CD, and we took some pictures.
Oh, that's cool.
And he called Daisy over because he saw she was Filipino. Come, he was telling her in Tagalog, come come take a picture. And Daisy's like, no, you take a picture with him. I don't want to take a picture. And he kind of looks at me, and we're like, whatever, let's take a picture.
Yeah, it's a trick. I always make that joke about the don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. Because he's Filipino. But he doesn't have an accent at all. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing
Well, he
singer.
just performed at Petco like almost a year ago. A little bit less than a year ago. Right?
You seen that picture I have of him, didn't you?
Yeah. You guys are at the casino.
Yeah, we're at the casino right
Of
there.
course. Filipinos in their casino.
Yeah.
Holding their rice in their pocket for good luck. Does Daisy do that?
No.
Oh, she doesn't carry the rice?
No, she doesn't. But she loves to play bingo. She'll go play bingo on a Saturday, and then slots, but she's not into the whole poker table thing or anything else. Just bingo and slots.
Yeah, the homie Dice, his wife, is into going to the casino a lot. And she had made that joke about carrying rice because all the aunties would always tell her, you got to carry rice on you. It's good luck. I think she did it a few times.
Dice's wife is Filipino?
No. She's Italian.
Oh, okay.
No, but she goes to gamble a lot.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, Daisy goes every Saturday. She likes to go play bingo.
Bingo's fun.
And
It's
she'll
intense.
she'll give me a hint. She goes, I don't have money. And I go, I know what that means.
Here I go.
But sometimes she'll do pretty good. She does pretty good. She'll get like a couple hundred. I remember one time I was at work and she texted me. I was at work during the day. It was in the afternoon. It wasn't even before 12 o'clock. She had went in the morning because they give the free gifts and stuff. And she had went to go get a gift and she jumped on the machine. And then I got a text and it was just it was a picture text and it was she had hit a jackpot of $5,000.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. I can't wait to come home. Daddy needs a new pair of Chucks.
Right?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was cool. She's gotten some luck. Lately, not so much. That's what pisses her off. She thinks that she has this ideology that they rig the machines. She goes,
maybe. I don't know.
She goes, they see me win too much. Now they don't want me to win. Now they fixed the machine. I go, I don't think they fixed the machine. Yeah, they do. And I go, okay, I'm not going to argue with you about that. Yeah. Lots of Filipinos at the casino.
Yeah, but these guys got to try your fried chicken. Your fried chicken.
Hey, that
was
sounds
fucking
good, though.
Amazing. No, but the way he would do it, the crumbled up, what is it, Ritz crackers?
Ritz crackers.
Bruh.
Really?
For the breading that you roll it in.
Bruh, that shit is
Yeah.
fire. My dad's a good fucking cook, and it came from your grandpa, right?
Yeah. My dad was a cook. Your Theo Danny.
Oh, yeah, my Theo Danny's a
You?
cook.
You.
Oh, I like,
We
yeah.
all
I
get down
cook
in
at
the
work.
kitchen. That's a trip because my father was a cook. He did his thing he was a kitchen manager and he ran some restaurants and he was like the head, he would oversee what was going on in the kitchen, and he knew how to cook ever since I was little.
Well,
and
it's funny because Avid, he
What?
was saying that he's never tried a grilled cheese like mine.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like that bread, though. That bread
It's
just
changing the game, dog.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like the buffalo cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, man, bomb, bro. That is bomb.
And the thing about the grilled cheese, you gotta put butter on both sides. That's the prison status shit that taught me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta just drench it in fucking butter.
doing.
He's good. I think he was supposed to get out. He's supposed to get out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also the one that taught me with the both sides of butter for the
cheese?
quesadilla.
Oh,
The quesadillas are bomb like that, bro.
yeah. But I remember every time I came through, I'm like, bro, can you hook me up with with the sandwich? For real.
I remember your he used to always like crack really dirty jokes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. Remember he was with
Yeah.
and he used to be like really honest about when he would tweak. And he goes, Theo, look, one time me and we were tweaking hard. We were awake for 3 weeks. I was like, you're awake for 3 weeks, mijo? He goes, no sleep. We saw the sun come up. We saw it go down for 3 weeks. And he goes, we got bored one night and I boiled some eggs and me took turns keistering the eggs. We were shoving them up each other's ass. I I was like, hey, man, that's a little bit too
I know.
information. He goes, we were tweaking hard.
To see who lost. Whoever cracked the first egg
that's what he
lost.
said, yeah.
Stupid.
What the?
It's crazy.
While hitting the
Crazy.
pizzo. That's what he said.
Yeah, while hitting the pizzo. Yeah.
you gotta get creative sometimes, I guess, bro. Damn, that's crazy.
I remember one time he told me, he goes, Theo, look, I want to get this tattoo on my arm of a pizzo. I go, where are you gonna get a glass pipe? He goes, cause man, I gotta do it because it's just part of my life.
Well, he's the reason why I have a lot of my tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah, because growing up seeing him, he was just tatted everywhere. And then when he went inside and came back out, he had the big.
Oh yeah.
He has on the other side of his head.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah,
I
he's
remember
all
he used to
tatted
make
up,
us
and
laugh all the time. Him.
it's also a part of our culture, being all tatted.
Yeah.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I like
Nah,
I like the
tell.
beard thing though. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The shoe bomber beard.
Shoe bomber beard.
Your face looks like a vagina.
Oh god, a hairy one.
Louis jealous because his doesn't connect.
Yeah.
I know. That's the native in me, like in me, like it'll grow, but then my side shit doesn't come in at all, and that's the native not growing any fucking facial hair like that. You're gonna knock it crooked again, cuz it was crooked in the last episode, the whole episode.
That
and
was
you didn't,
before I even touched it.
and you didn't even tell me the whole episode until after. And
It was.
I had a few people tell me it's like your frame was crooked the whole time,
That was before. that
and
wasn't
you
my
told me
fault.
after the fact. But yeah, you're like a big movie guy too, right? Like I remember growing up and just always watching comedies or action flicks.
What's that mean?
No, I was saying like you're a big movie guy.
Oh yeah, I love movies.
Like,
I remember the DVD collection.
oh yeah,
My DVD. Oh yeah, I still got it. I had to put it into this big bin and stick it in the closet because Daisy started giving me a hard time about it. She goes, "Your DVDs are everywhere. You got to do something with them." So
Yeah,
I got
like-
rid of a lot of the old ones and just stored away the other ones that pull out every once in a while. Watch a movie.
yeah. Like my favorite comedy special is
Rock.
no, it's Martin Lawrence. He's my favorite comedian because of my dad. My dad will always play his comedy special called "You So Crazy."
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that one so much. Kicking shit balls in the bed.
Yeah, he's funny. Martin Lawrence. He's having a reunion, or it's already live streaming with his with the gang from
The cast from Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw him.
Yeah.
He's gained a lot of weight, man. He's a pretty chubby dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
The last Boys 2. What is it called?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. There you go.
Yeah.
So the last movie, and he was already big on that one.
Yeah.
I know that, but that's what he said during the interview when they asked him. They're like, he's like, when are you gonna do the Bad Boys? He goes, I don't know, but it needs to get done before I get any fucking fatter, man. He goes, I'm not gonna be able to move the way I used to.
And you know what's funny? I think he hella worked out to like before the
Oh, yeah.
actual movie came out. So
Well-
he was bigger than that.
Well, he's a
you know
natural
what I mean?
boxer. They say that he's really good at boxing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he always does that. Whenever he's on stage, he starts doing his little like shadow
dance.
boxing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he used to do that in Martin as well, right?
yeah, and that's the shit that he was talking about. He went in Run Tell That. He went to his supplier for some weed, and when he gave it to him, he said he started lunching, which is he started tripping balls, and he just hit some weed that was just like way too much for him.
Is that when he was running down the street or something
Yeah.
like that? I think he had a comedy.
He
special about
overheated
that.
and shit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he boxes and shit. That's him and Eminem are the ones that I heard that actually know. Him, Eminem, and 50 Cent are the ones that professional boxers say that they know how to box.
No
so
way.
So does
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Actor Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, he's a tough dude.
He knows how to box. Yeah.
And it's funny because they say Eminem, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's skinny." But it's like, little do you know, he has personal trainers that teach him how to fuck.
That boy has
been
hands.
teaching him.
Yeah. That's
Since he
crazy.
got
I never
famous,
pictured
yeah.
it from him.
Yeah,
Because he was supposed to play the Southpaw character, wasn't he?
yeah.
Before
That's
Jake Gyllenhaal?
well, that's his movie.
Yeah, but I think he was supposed to play it, but then they're like, nah, let's put Jake Gyllenhaal.
He wanted
in
no,
it.
he wanted it. He wanted somebody else, not him.
Yeah, but they were trying to force him to do it.
Yeah,
But he's
Jake
like,
is a
nah.
great actor. I like a lot
Oh,
of his
yeah,
movies.
man. He's really good. Like he come on End of Watch, right?
Yeah,
it's really.
That was
good.
one of my favorites right there.
Mine too. Like one of my
With him and Michael Peña.
Yeah, one of my cousin's boys. He came out in one of my music videos. This guy named David.
Yeah.
He's actually the guy that stabbed some guy with in the movie in the eye. It was that guy. Like, it was crazy, man. Like, when he told me, like, well, what movie you with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh,
what?
he stabs the girl cop, right?
I think so. And he had, like,
yeah.
the thing in his eye, right? And they're, like, tackling him, or, like, in the backyard or something.
No, that big cholo dude beat the
Yeah.
shit out of the lady cop. The one that they called Boo. And then that captain, he's the one who got stabbed in the eye on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
And they came looking for the female cop, and the cholo dude was sitting there punching her in the face.
And that's the homie David.
That's him.
From End of Watch?
He came out of my music video. We Drop Bombs a while back, bro. Like,
That's cool.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. That's dope.
Well, this was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
I
coming
know
on,
that.
Pop.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Oh, you're
man.
welcome. You know that MTO wants to come out here and be part of your guys' show too.
Yeah, definitely have other people on.
MTO, he's a local rapper out of National City, activist. He's the
Cool.
one who helped to produce the latest video with
Little Grief on
Little Rob.
Little Rob, Summertime.
Yeah, Summertime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
MTO's in that video too.
Yeah, he's the one that's driving around Little Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, MTO, he's very.
talking about summer?
Yeah, another song talking about summer, but this time it's summertime, not summer nights.
Yeah, it's called Summertime.
Nah, he still got it, fool. Nah, he still got it, even though Avid doesn't think that line is fire, even though it is.
Oh,
right
to
next
be specific, to be next to the.
Right
Dude,
next to
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
Pacific, to
I
be
feel like that's the
specific.
wackest line I've ever heard in my life.
It's hard.
I'll be
bro.
honest, bro. I'll be honest, like, dude, like, there was no effort into that. Like, yeah, he's like talking about to be specific, not too specific. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, God.
I feel like you're hating.
I'm not a hater, bro. I'm a participator. Participate on that shit. No.
I don't know why you hate on that line so much, though.
Ah, bro, because I was so disappointed in it, dog.
The left side.
To the left? Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
next
man.
to the Pacific, to be specific.
I don't like it, bro. I'll be honest. I don't like it. I feel like you could have been more creative with that. But, yeah. But the song is dope, though. The fact that it came out on MTV and everything like that. And, like, kind of put it, Chicano, put it out there. Because there wasn't many Chicano songs out there on MTV and stuff like that. So it was represented. So I appreciate that for sure.
Oh.
But I wasn't just disappointed with that line.
like SANDIEGO.
Well, he says that in the song, dog. In the new song. Yeah, I'll show you it after. Yeah, he still got it, fool. Still got it.
I seen them La Vuelta, I think it was last year, at one of the La Vuelta, up and was like performing and shit like that. It sounded good to me.
Fucking yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to get some way more viewers and get popular and try to have some people on. I asked the homie from Tribal Seeds if he could come on, but he's on tour right now, so he didn't even check his DM. So slid up in that for his DM, see if he could come over here and spit some shit.
And if anybody out there, like, you know what I mean, want to come on this podcast, just reach out to Lou. Bam Bam. What's good?
Introduce
The whole
yourself.
time. My name is Marcos. I'm
He's
the
been
voice
in
in
the
the background.
He's been in the back
That sexy, amazing voice that you hear out of nowhere.
with the luscious beard.
That's me. The beard that we're talking about.
Shoe bomber. The Al Qaeda beard. It's okay, I
If
can
you
say
see
that.
my beard versus this fool's beard,
Mine's better, you know. The Fu Manchu.
you're not a beard.
I was gonna say
It's
what
a Fu
beard?
Manchu.
goatee.
Yeah.
It's a Fu Manchu.
I don't think you understand what a Fu Manchu is either, because the mustache needs to go longer.
Well, it didn't connect at first, so
This
it was a
mustache-
Fu Manchu.
This is more of a Fu Manchu than yours. Look at this mustache. Oh, look. What's up?
Exactly. He says his beard is better than my goatee.
What?
See how you keep your cousin.
I've been,
It's still kind of forced.
They say, you know that program where because you work with mentally disabled, they always give you like a a sponsor, or they give those kids a sponsor. They say that I'm the kid. They're my sponsor. Fuck them. Fucking assholes. It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true, everybody.
I just want to put that out there. It's not true, guys.
It's not true.
Guys.
I'm cool.
You're cool, cuz.
Remember? Whatever
five.
Bam Bam wants to do.
Yeah, I remember. High five.
Remember Batman didn't want to do what we wanted to do?
It's not even that.
I want to do whatever Bam Bam wants to do.
It's my big cuz. That's why.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. Marcos, Ernie, what do you guys want to do?
Popular in South Bend.
Louis popular all over.
Sometimes.
All over.
Not yet. I want to get to that stage where we have to walk around with masks and little hoodies on.
I'm just mic hopping at this point.
Okay.
There you go. There's one question I always get from a lot of people that know us very well, know Louis and the family, and they always ask me this question: when is Bam Bam gonna step back into the octagon?
You know, actually, a lot of people ask that.
A lot of
A
people.
lot of people ask
A lot
that.
of people. So how are you gonna answer that, mijo?
I still want to do it. It's hard though. It's like you got to hold your job, and that's a full-time job. You got to be there at least 4 to 6 hours every single day. But I eventually want to do it. But if I want to, I do want to go back. But if I go back, it's definitely going to be either Muay Thai or boxing.
You're not gonna do the full MMA anymore.
I'll probably give it a run again too. But
But you want to?
I've had a lot of boxers that were amateur and pro had told me that I do really well in boxing.
At least
So
so
they
times
wanna-
you can RNC is the best.
I know, exactly. Fuck you. Why you gotta bring up old shit?
It's part of what we're talking about. Nah, but Louis, whenever was standing bang, fucking Louis for sure all day. I'll have this fool in my corner for sure. Ground and pound, he got way better at that at the end.
Yeah. Well, I had a better team. I had the 10th Planet, San Diego. It was
You know-
like in my last fight, it was like easy to pull it off. Like I let him hit me, not hit me. If you watch the video, he tries to throw elbows, but he overcompensates for one of his elbows, and I fucking sucked that bitch in and fucking got him in a nasty arm bar. And then he wasn't gonna tap with just like that, so I turned that bitch over and I was gonna break it, but he tapped. If he wasn't gonna tap, I was gonna fucking put his elbow through his other side.
Yeah, that was the one thing Louis was missing because his stand up was always there. It was that ground game, and then like he said, being in 10th Planet, they taught him like extra. Man, that changed the game, and then he stopped.
That's something that Louis inherited too, because my mother's father was he was a Golden Gloves champ in his day when he served in the United States Navy during the 1940s. His name was Simon Navarro. And I remember one time my grandmother, my mom's mom, showed me a picture of my grandpa in his boxing trunks and everything, with his, this kind of pose that they do. And then she had like what was it, kind of like, it looked like this big certificate type thing, or like a recognition type, what do you call them things, an award or something. And it was for him holding the title of being Golden Gloves during that time in his youth, like that. So I think that's where Louis got it from, because that's what she said my grandfather loved to box. That was his thing. Yeah.
Hands running the family.
Yeah. Like to do that.
And then plus you were always in the living room, in the backyard with your dumbbell or your barbell, just doing everything you could, So
Stay fit.
that also pushed into his weightlifting and make sure that he, got that strength in him.
Yeah.
Because someone could throw an overhand right, but if you ain't got power behind it, you ain't got power behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been told by many people that I've trained with that, as small as I am, that I fucking hit hard.
Oh, I seen that shit.
good.
That's good.
That's why I think you should get back into the. When you were inside, when you took a little break, we were talking about Louis stepping back into the octagon.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to see that, man.
Yeah, I've been telling that. I know that.
Beforehand, like I used to, when me and Lou used to always talk at the hookah lounge, we used to always talk about his fights.
Yeah.
Like, man, I want to go see him, but every time he fought, it's like the time without work, and I couldn't go. So that's one regret I have. I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could see him fight.
That's what he says.
When we were at the Father's Day gathering with my sisters and everything, we're all sitting at the table, and both of my sisters said, "I'd like to see Louis get back into it."
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
why did he stop? Why did he stop doing that? You know, and then my sister Mickey, your tia, was saying it's gonna take a lot of work because look how big he's gotten. You know, he has to drop a lot of weight.
It's easy.
But I
Bullshit.
mean, you got to remember how Louis was when I first met him. He was a big boy.
Yeah.
He dropped quick, you know, like once you're working, like he said, it's a full-time job, 4 to 6 hours a day, and you're burning all those calories. He's gonna drop it quick if he really gets back into it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Well, it's easy for me. For some reason, like I'm able to drop weight pretty fucking quick. Like when I started working out again with my boy Dylan, all I was doing was lifting weights, and then I would go into the sauna, and then I was also taking testosterone though too. But I had dropped a good 30, almost 35 pounds, and I was already right back to fucking 160.
Wow.
And he was all mad. He goes, "But you're fucking cheating." My fucking white boy, always talking shit, saying that I was taking gas station steroids. That's what he called them. Fucking Dylan.
You know, steroids are dangerous, though.
Yeah, but I wasn't taking steroids. I was taking basically it's a testosterone replacement.
A lot of these guys that do the bodybuilding stuff, and they shoot the steroids, they don't realize that
It's for horses.
that the heart is also a muscle. So if you're building up your muscles, the heart is going to become enlarged too because it's an actual muscle. So anything that you stick into your arm to enhance your muscles is also going to affect your heart too, and that's what causes that. You see a lot of majority of the wrestlers and stuff, when they die, they always die. What do they die from? Heart attacks, cardiac arrest, severe heart attack.
Macho Man, the
All of
Ultimate
them.
Warrior,
Yeah, Ultimate. A lot of these guys.
Scott Hall. That's what he died of, a cardiac arrest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the years of shooting those chemicals.
Your balls
into
are
the-
already small.
into the
He goes to the doc, "Can they get any smaller?"
So where did
Doc's
you
like, "No,
where did
son,
you
it's
and Louis
clinically
meet?
impossible."
We met at the hookah lounge.
Oh, okay.
At work.
Yeah, like I just kept going by myself, and like he would just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they would. It would be after they closed and they'd get real dark. They'd lower the lights and they just hang out by themselves. It's not even a joke either. It's really how it happened.
It really was.
Candles.
Funky, but yeah.
Why you guys gotta explain it like that? That's not what it was.
But it wasn't. It's how it what happened.
I had to turn off the lights. I couldn't waste the power.
That's also how I met this guy, though. So I guess.
It is, right?
Yeah, so because I would, occasionally I would go visit Louis and shit like that, especially once he got later, because then the bosses weren't there and shit like that. And so one day this fool was there, and Louis was like, "Oh, I got to turn off the lights," and I was like, "It's kind of weird. What you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, nah, because it's after hours. We don't want no one trying to come in." I was like, "All right." So it was just like super dark, and like we would just be smoking hookah, talking, and it was just felt weird because it felt like you guys said a candlelit dinner, and like the light was coming in from the outside from the street, and that's the only light we had, and it was really weird.
Louis sitting all close to you and stuff.
Oh, Louis had all the space, and yeah, he was right next to me. It was kind of weird.
All those hookahs that I was sharing.
Hey, pass it to me and don't wipe it.
Cochino.
Nah, but yeah, I feel like I've gotten all my friends from Ernie and Louis. Like they're the people, people, because there's two of them, people persons, and I'm just like the guy in the background who like comes in and like just like, oh, okay, cool. Like you guys are my friends too now, I guess.
But you're that missing link, cuz.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had to add you.
I'm the one that makes the dumb jokes occasionally, you know? Just
And the
like-
corny ones.
Oh, but everyone loves corny jokes. Look, you love corny jokes, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the way of life.
The
The
dad
older you
jokes?
get, the better it is.
Are you still with that same girl, the one that the Filipina?
No.
No?
That's been a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's gone and passed for many years. I actually got a new
Okay.
one, and this is the one right here. The new one. She's done.
Oh, he
Oh,
said
yeah?
this is the one right here.
And who's that?
That
Oh,
was
shit.
the camera again.
Hey, you guys can keep talking.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the last thing was said, but yeah, no, yeah, like.
Oh, that you got a new girl.
Yeah, they're like,
That this
No,
is the one.
you're happy now, that's the one.
Oh,
So what are you gonna do with it
1,000%.
later, mijo? You edit it?
She's Filipino too,
And I could
right?
tell.
She's partial Filipina for sure. She's like hella mixed. So her dad is half black, half Mexican, and then her mom's is half Filipina, half Japanese.
Wow, that's a combination right there.
Yeah. So it's just 4 mixes of everything, and it's amazing.
The Japanese side, is it like from Japan?
Yeah, her grandma's from Japan.
That's sick.
And well, actually, you know what? Her grandpa also is. I think actually, so it's a little bit different because her grandpa's half Japanese, half Filipino. So it's like for them though, because in Pearl Harbor they were living in Hawaii, and so they went through some shit back in the day. But yeah, like she was raised to be and obviously she was raised to be, and she was like a rebel about it. But she was raised to be like super Asian, super about like like, oh, you're a lady, like. Respect. Well, the respect part is there, but like just like, oh, you gotta be like this, you gotta be like that, like like super woman.
Yeah.
And then her growing up, she was just like, nah, like I'm just me, and she's an only child, so like there wasn't really anything to like base it upon, except for the fact that it was just she was her,
Yeah.
and so that's what helped a
It
lot.
couldn't be like, oh, why aren't you like your sister?
Yeah, exactly. I always joke around. I'm like, yeah, they had you, and they're like, this is enough. This is too much. I can't handle another one. I always make fun of only children for that reason. But yeah, so like, man, but not like Ivan said, right? He's like, he's seen that shit, right? Like me, like my girl, like that's the one right there. Like,
Yeah, man. Especially because I've been to your house. You know what I mean? And I've seen the interaction you guys have, and like to be quite honest, like you just set and settled, bro.
yeah, man.
You know what
Like,
I mean?
so I moved in September, and bro, it's been fucking amazing ever since. Like, I don't ever plan on anything else. Like, this is dope.
And when you
And
find
I've never felt that shit. I never felt it. So it's dope.
That's cool. Whatever makes you happy, huh?
I was gonna say it must be nice to be loved.
Yeah. A long ass pause must be nice.
Must be nice.
must be real nice.
You know, I never watch our podcast, but I'm gonna fast forward to this part and tag Rena.
Hey, check this scene out.
FYI here.
I'm gonna put that shit as a clip.
Just long pause. Silence.
Must
Must
be nice.
So how'd you like it, Pop?
It's pretty cool. I like your guys' little setup.
It's chill, right? Like it's just having a
It's
conversation.
the boys.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to impose upon everybody. Just like this is just the way we talk. Like there's no extra. We're not trying to like be like about something. Like this is just the way it is.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, subjects," and I'm like, "It's whatever it pops up." Like we came up with other stuff like the "Who's Your Padre" and then the food and shit. But this is what we do. This is how we talk all the time.
We're just inviting everybody to hang out with us.
There you go.
Like we're just kicking it, and everybody else out there can kick it as well.
Exactly. Like before the podcast, we have conversations that Louis is like, "Yo, man, save it for the fucking podcast," and we're like, "We'll just talk about something else."
It's
like,
natural.
Who cares?
It
Like,
just happens.
it does exactly. Like it just as it flows, it flows. Like
You go.
there's nothing.
To be honest, though, I wouldn't mind you coming back and showing us how to make one of those necklaces
Oh, that'd be cool.
and showing and telling us, the meaning of them and stuff like that too.
Yeah, there's
one-
a lot of significance between with the crow one.
The crow, the crow also comes to Louis. The crow's my spirit animal. It's been coming around me since my early 20s, when Louis and them were kids, were young. And the way that you know that the crow is there to send a message or to relay a message to you, it always comes one, and as one. And it'll stand like really close without any fear, and it makes eye contact with you, and it's like speaking to you. And usually with the crow, when they come and it speaks to you and it makes eye contact with you, and it's getting your attention, or it wants your attention for you to like what's going on, and it's like right there. what it's doing, it's letting you know that somebody close to you is going to like die soon. Okay, so every time the crow has come to me, like really close, right there, whether it be right outside the door or just close, like with its full attention on you, like it has no fear. It's just like right there making eye contact, looking at you. It's letting you know that someone that you know or someone that you know of or someone that's close to you is going to die. And I noticed that every time I've had that encounter, that someone I know makes the journey they pass.
Have you noticed it's always the same crow?
No, it's not always the same crow.
Okay.
It varies.
Gotcha. Because I know like people like, I guess not trained crows, but like they gift them things and they come back and gift them. Like it's a lot on TikTok and stuff like that. So that's I guess that's very different from like you just experiencing a crow come to you on a random occasion.
Yeah,
and it's done that with Louis too. Yeah, it's brought messages to him, and then people have, passed away too.
Yeah,
right?
he let me wear the necklace for a little while because when my tia Gloria was like, she was really sick. The crow had came and it landed on a branch and it was just staring at me, and then it started squawking. Yeah. And it was like, I was kind of like moving my hand to see if it would get scared. You know how they are. They'll fly. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like moving, and then it was just kept talking to me. It just kept, and then it was the same thing for my tia Mary Lou, and also the same thing for my tia Bernie.
Tia Bernie, yeah.
So I was at SeaWorld, and I was it was my daughter's field trip, and there was all these crows in one tree, one random one right next to me, and he or she started squawking. I was like, and I kind of like
looking at you at the same time.
So, and then they had told me like, oh, your tia Bernie's in the hospital. So we ended up going up to Hemet to go see her. And on the way, there was a crow that was sitting at the exit that we were supposed to get off on, and it was just sitting there. And then we went past it, and we accidentally got off on the other one, and there was another crow just sitting by itself, just sitting there.
Would you guys say that it's part of your guys', and I apologize if I mispronounce it, but the Yaqui tribe?
I think so. Like, I think there's some connection to it because I have this very close friend out of National City. Actually, she's a veterana from the neighborhood, from OTNC, but she's Yaqui, and she's we call her Crow Talk because she has that strong connection to the crow. And she literally takes these crows that they literally come to her. The crows gather around her. She feeds them. She talks to them. She has an actual crow that she's raising from a hatchling right now, and she calls him Travieso because he's a naughty crow, So she's very close to these animals. She knows how to speak like the crow and everything. So that's how she earned her name, Crow Talk. And she also has like the same thing with the crow where they come to her to let her know that when someone is going to pass away or something like that. And usually after the crow comes to speak, usually someone, does make the journey or passes away. But I knew that the crow, the connection that I had with the crow was meant to be like my spirit guide or my spirit animal. That's why I honor that by having the crow with me. That's part of my talisman. That's part of who.
What's that big circular talisman?
This one right here was made for me by a Mexica brother from Mexico that passed it on to another brother from East LA and was given, and then was passed over to me. And people ask me about the significance behind this is called, the center of the Maya calendar is called Tonatiuh. Okay? His name is Tonatiuh. And what it stands for symbolizes it's father, son, the duality of man. To live is to dream, to die is to awaken. That's the whole purpose of Tonatiuh, the center of the calendar. And the reason why I wear it is because in my early 20s, before I came to Logan, way before you guys were born and before I met your mom, I had like this accident in which someone had jumped the shit out of me and tried to kill me by hitting me in the head with a metal pipe, and only in my head. So I knew that they were trying to kill me. When someone's trying to kill you, you know it, And I got jumped, and these two guys were like had like this. They were hitting me with something. It was solid, and I could, feel it against my skull and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna die because they're trying to kill me. And during one of the blows to my head, I saw like this huge flash of light, like I had jumped out of my body for like a couple seconds, and I saw this huge flash of light like this, like the sun, like I stepped into the sun, and it was like this, and in the center of the sun was this face. I saw clearly, but without the tongue sticking out. It's just the face, just like looking like this, and that was my. Ever since I had that kind of like out of body experience for those 2 split seconds of these guys trying to kill me, that's the purpose of me being drawn to this particular symbol, because I saw it during a near-death experience that I had. So I know that it serves a purpose when it comes to who I am and my life, I may not know the true origin of it or the significance behind it, but I know that it serves a purpose when it comes to. There's a meaning when it comes to me personally.
Do you wear the stuff you wear on the daily?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, but you know what's great? Like the thing you talked about, the crow.
Yeah.
Like I had that experience before, which is weird. Like there was a crow that used to like for a couple days will stand outside my window looking straight at me.
Yeah.
And like crow.
Yeah.
What I mean? And like what you say, like really impact me because, like after that, like I know a lot of people know here, a lot of people know, podcasts, but like after that, I lost my fiance and my baby.
Wow.
So like, that's crazy that you say that because that happened to me prior to that happening. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to it. I mean, because they've served that purpose. They carry the message they're the messengers. They're not like some people will look at the crow and their purpose or because they're all black that they symbolize evil or something like that. And there's nothing evil about it. They're just the messengers that let you know when they come to you directly and you can't scare them or anything. They just stand like this and they just looking at you and they're cawing at you, like they're telling you something. And they're not hanging with all the other crows and you're like, shoo, go away. And it's just like, no, motherfucker, I'm here to tell you something. You're going to listen. You're going to listen to me.
Even if it takes a couple days.
Yeah. And they'll come around for about a couple days too.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Like before your Tia Margie died.
Yeah, Bernie.
Tia Bernie. Why did you say Tia Margie? Oh my God. Hope it doesn't mean anything. Before Tia Bernie died, there was a crow. The crow was coming right outside the door. And I remember I stepped out into the balcony because we lived on the second floor, and the crow was on the metal railing, and it was standing like from here to the Padre blanket right here, and it was standing right there on the railing, and it was like cawing at me really loud, and I was like, what the heck? My neighbor on the other side was coming up the steps to go to his apartment, and he was like looking, and he asked me in Spanish, "Is that your bird?" And I said, "No, that's not my bird." He goes, "Well, he's acting as if he knows you." That's what my neighbor told me in Spanish. And that's what, like, wow, it tripped me out.
Yeah,
that's how close that thing was.
I really relate to that.
Yeah, and I tried to feed it, and it just looked at the food like this, and I'm not here to be fed. I'm here to tell you something.
So when they come through in a flock, or like pass around neighborhoods, like does that mean anything that you know of, or is that just kind of like them just being them?
It's just them being them.
Okay.
Like, is that why they hang out at the cemetery? Like, because over there in Abbey Cemetery, that's where all the crows hang out before they leave to where they sleep.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a ton of crows every evening there.
Well, if you notice now, in this time, in this era, the crows outnumber all the species of bird throughout the world. And that's their purpose. Their whole purpose of being like that in such large numbers is that they are spreading the message that death right now is like really strong in all different levels, murder, war, everything, and they're right there to deliver the message to us and say, you know what, these are dark times, and you guys just need to be strong or prepare yourselves because there's a lot of death, you know, and blood flows like a river, and people will die, and you'll see people, you know, children, everyone will die, you know, and it'll come in large numbers, and that's the purpose. And you learn these things through, you know, people like my friend Claudia Crow Talk that's close to the Crow, and she says, lucky they're messengers. They're letting us know. That's why you see so great numbers of them, because they're telling us that this is the time where death is like 100-fold over through the history of this world. You know, very powerful. Yeah. So that's why I use the crow, because that's my spirit animal. That's why I carry it with me. It's played a major role in my life for many, many years, the crow. And with my fellow Yaquis that are around in the National City area, when we come together, we all have that connection to the crow. So we call ourselves like, we're the Yaqui that we walk the death road with crow medicine. That's how we call ourselves. As opposed to the Yaqui that is into the whole deer dance thing, you know, the ones that do the deer dance and that kind of thing. We're like we call ourselves like a different faction of the Yaqui that are more drawn toward the crow and the message behind the crow and its purpose, you know.
So where did the Yaqui actually reside? Like what is the Yaqui area that originated?
Sonora, Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
Most of my family comes from Sonora.
That's where the Yaquis originated from. But the Yaqui have been around for thousands of years, way before Mexico was known as Mexico and Mexicans were known as Mexicans. Yeah.
They just got recognized, though, like in, what was it, 2001, 2011 or something like that, as a tribe?
Yeah.
Well, by the government.
Here in the States, huh?
Here in the States.
In the States, because they weren't... during the late 1800s, the Yaqui... when they were gathering up all the tribes and throwing them on the res, whether it be Apache or the Navajos, and they were sticking them on the res, you know, the Union armies, the Yaqui was held such a strong resistance that they were one of very few tribes that were unable, where they couldn't be forced onto the res. That's how hell the Yaquis gave the white man. They were like, no, fuck it, you're not going to put us on the reservation. You know,
it's crazy that
the resistance was strong.
We're learning about Navajo, Cherokee, all them, and then I've never once in my life before, you know, you and Louis, I never even heard of the Yaqui in my life. They, you know, they kept you guys out of the history books.
Yeah. Because the Yaqui originally from Sonora, so they consider them like Mexican, and most Yaquis will tell you we're not Mexican, we're Yaqui. We've been around way before there was such thing as Mexican. Before the Spaniards came, we've always been around.
So how'd you find out you were Yaqui, just like the...
From my sisters making a pilgrimage back to Arizona and connecting with my dad's side of the family.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I found out that my grandmother and my great-grandmother were from the reservation in Arizona, where they had the Yaqui people right there. Because eventually, even though the Yaquis couldn't be forced on, maybe like it was like about 100 years later or so when the Yaquis finally decided, you know, we need to be recognized as one of the tribes here in these states. So they, you know, they have their own reservation so that they could collect whatever they can from the white man, you know, because they've been going back and forth from Sonora into the States for the past 200 years, you know, so.
Some good history, though. For real.
Yeah.
Stuff that not a lot of people know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, finally, when my mother passed away not too long ago, that's when we all went to Arizona to, you know, to do what we had to do, settle my mother's affairs and everything like that. And that's when we were able to connect with my dad's side of the family, and they were telling us, "You guys are Yaqui. You know, that's where we come from. We're Yaqui." You know, and we just share this territory with the Mexicans, you know, and just like a lot of other tribes that are from the Southwest that interact or or coexist with the Mexicanos, you know. And we played a major role when it comes to helping the Mexicans to help themselves, because we fought alongside them during their little revolutionary skirmishes when they had their Mexican Revolution with Villa and Zapata. The Yaquis were right there too. We were kind of like their guerrilla fighters, or like the Marines.
So do you guys celebrate September 16th?
Which one, the Mexican independence?
Yeah. Do you guys even celebrate any like holiday of that nature?
Personally, I don't.
Even though maybe you guys fought alongside, there's no resemblance.
Like,
of,
you guys have history there, so like.
There's lots of history. There's photographs and everything of armed women. Even the women fought too, the Yaqui women. There's lots of pictures and early photos of the women all armed with their, you know, what do they call those? Yeah, all across the belt area and everything. Women were out there fighting too.
So would you consider yourself Mexican also?
What I learned from our people is the Yaqui don't really consider themselves Mexican.
But you, yourself.
More towards the native side. That's what's kept all the years of activism. Claiming more of the native side has helped me to cross all the barriers when it comes to working with the raza and going from one barrio to another, because they could never claiming, you know, the whole native thing as opposed to raza. I was able to cross those lines without, where were you from? Where'd you used to be from? And this and that, you know what I mean? Oh, you're an Indio. It's different. It's a whole different trip. You know what I mean? They don't put us in the whole category of the gang stuff, or once upon a time running with the gang. Or.
But I mean, when you did your acting, you always played the part of the Mexican cholo. So like, what got you into the whole part of like, I could play this part, but I'm not gonna portray Mexican in like a real life, but in a movie sense, I will actually portray the Chicano part of the Mexican, you know, gangster cholo kind of thing.
Because of my respect and love for La Raza, you know, the whole cholo gang thing is like, it needs to be embraced because it's a subculture within the Chicano culture, and you just can't sweep it under the rug and pretend that it doesn't exist, because the whole gang cholo vibe thing, there's even though it's deadly, there's like a beauty within it too.
Yeah,
it is. Sure. Yeah,
and I guess
there's honor, there's bravery, there's loyalty. You know, a lot of these guys.
Part of it.
Yeah, I know so many guys that are like deep in the mix. When they give you their word is their
word is bond.
Yeah.
Word is bond 100%. I've tried to live that out my whole life. So, and obviously I was on the side doing my own thing.
Yeah.
The podcast and stuff like that, but my one of my questions I had while you were talking and stuff like that was like, as you're doing, like, you know, you had the whole walks, you were since 17, you felt that need to like bring forth that it's not about violence all the time, you know, Chicano culture is this and that, but like, yet when you played your parts, you would play the cholo that was the violent part, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like, how did you switch it from being the activist to like just playing a part, you know, like,
I guess just the connection to the homies, you know, just wanting to, I don't know, just
represent.
Yeah. Just pretend for that moment.
But then pretending brings it to the full American aspect of, you know, whether it be Belushi or Stamos, like, you're bringing forth a negative connotation to being like a cholo, and like it's just, you know, like you're doing whatever part you had where they crash into a house and you're like in the bad aspect of being, you know, a cholo.
With what did I have on me? I had an Uzi.
Yeah, exactly. So then, like, where does that fall into? Like, how did you break the ties of the activism part of trying to get the homies from being away from that, and then you're portraying that on TV or a movie?
I just looked at it as just something that it just, how do I say this? That's a good question. I like that. I don't even know how to answer that.
I was on the side. Sorry, I didn't question it earlier for the viewers and shiz.
I never gave it any thought. It was just that I just did it, and
It was just your avenue in. You know what I mean? Like, turn out a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because more attention brings more.
maybe I was just showing that I could step into the role too, and just like see what it's like to be them for that moment, you know.
Exactly what you like. You know what I mean? You're even though you portrayed the character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still like showing that, hey, like, yes, I could like act like this,
Mhm.
but I choose not to, and
Yeah.
this is the way out.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my perspective.
Yeah. I don't know. I always love the whole activism thing. It's always like it's like a rush. Yeah, I like it. Anything that I get involved in that where I'm able to use my activism in order to help someone, it's like a rush. It's like
It's self-fulfilling. Like,
better than alcohol or anything, you know.
yeah, it's like
Not better than sex, but you know.
a little close, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll touch myself, but you know.
Hey, this podcast no filter.
No, but I get his. It's kind of the same thing with the homie. It's like he didn't want to do that, but that's who he played, and that's who he's playing right now. But it's giving them the avenue of choosing, like setting that platform for them, so they could go beyond what they're doing.
But I guess my stigma of that is like the average American is not going to go into your platform. It's just going to see what they see on TV, and they're going to continue to base what the narrative of the Chicano Cholo, whatever it might be, and they're just going to base it off the movie, and they're just going to continue with their life and be like, okay, that's what.
But they're always gonna base us off
Yeah, there's no way around.
Well,
whatever they want to.
But they're not always. If people stopped, portraying that side of things.
That's true.
The American media is a heavy thing, you know what I mean? So like,
No, I know.
If people keep portraying like that dude Hector, like who's Hector in every single movie,
Yeah.
and so people are gonna be like, oh, okay, like that's the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just the way that it is with them. Like no, like it's not. But if people keep taking
That's what
money
they
and portraying themselves
You
that way,
ever see that movie Lowrider?
I tried to watch that. I thought the acting was really bad.
It was kind of like bad, but it was basically like
It was an okay.
him wanting to do something else other than like the gang life. Like obviously that's who he was and that's who he grew up to be, and that's what the Chicanos are kind of like more doing now. Other than the Mayan MC is obviously supposed to be based on a biker gang, so. But like they're putting out movies like that.
I like
Trying to
movies like
steer-
that for the reason that the message behind it is strong. The message is there.
Like a
The acting
Las
may not
Mission.
be good, but the message is definitely there. You know, they're trying to the message that they're trying to convey to everyone about the life and stuff like that, and the how do you call it? All the obstacles that you face when you're growing up in the barrio, and the peer pressure of choosing: are you gonna be part of the clica? Or are you gonna stand alone and be your own man? You know, because I remember, like, back in the day, that in order to be respected as a homeboy or something like that, you had to have done time in prison or go to jail or something like that. That made you a soldier, that made you more tough, or made you, get respect amongst the homeboys, or what kind of things you could do when you put in work, what you're willing to do in order to gain respect,
Yeah, but that falls upon like the fact that like most of these people have been like not part of families and stuff like
Yeah.
So they find that loyalty comforting because it's like, you know what I mean? Well, I'm loyal to you. It's a family. You know what I mean? I think like, you know, like broken family situation, don't you think?
Yeah.
But I guess the hard part for me of that is that that is what's portrayed to the American public. And then so the ones that do, like the movies that do get popular, because I never heard of Lowrider in my life. So the ones that do get out into the public only show the negative connotation of what it is to be a cholo or what it is to be Chicano, like, you know?
Yeah, but that's why I also like the Blood and Blood Out movie, like Paco. Everybody wanted to be Paco growing up. Seeing that movie, they wanted to be that badass fucking vato, and that's what he was. And then he turned into a cop, but it's the same thing. He set in that avenue for Chicanos, even though he's not Chicano, he's Cuban, or Colombian, one of those. He set the bar for them. He went from doing that, and then he was a cop in that movie, and then he went on to doing Law and Order, like setting that bar where they like, well, I was this, but then you could also do this, and which is cool. And now he's in Disney movies. He did Ernesto. He played in Coco.
What was De La Cruz?
Yeah, he was De La Cruz.
Which one's Ernesto?
The one that looks like Chente. Yeah, the one that looks like Chente.
You see the actor who plays Panchito Gomez, the guy who played Santana in American Me.
Yeah.
He's making his own movie right now too. They're doing a movie right now. It's in production. Kinda
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's kind of like for them to like get on that platform to be seen. Yeah, you're taking that role, but then obviously like they'll take it another route, just like Edward James Olmos. He was doing all those Cholo movies, and he went and did that Stand By Me, where he played the teacher, and he's also giving positive roles.
Oh, you mean
Yeah, Edward
Stand and
James
Deliver?
Olmos.
Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, Stand and Deliver.
Stand By Me was with.
I mean, that's what I meant. Stand and Deliver.
Yeah. Was with the black actor. I just watched that too last week. Me and Daisy were watching Stand By Me with Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
See, but everybody gotta understand though, like we're working the system of like the white view. You know what I mean? Like the white view is a certain thing, but we have to work around that. I mean, so unfortunately, sometimes you kind of have to cling to that role, get at it, and get that attention. You know, like kind of like swerve that shit.
But how often do you got to work that role? You know what I mean? Like, so everyone works that role, but then nothing ever comes of it. It's all I see is the negative.
Well, kind of by individuals now, I assume.
Well, I mean, it only is the individuals that finally get to that point.
He just talked about it.
What would you do? Like if you had that position?
That's the thing, though. People like me wouldn't do those positions, but then they would never get seen.
Exactly.
But then, but even if you get seen and then try to do something else, that something else never gets seen.
Yeah.
So then it always falls back to it. It all depends on the people to stop doing.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
roles.
I
It
get.
lands on everybody to stop doing everybody. To
Yeah,
stop
like
doing those things.
I get what you mean. Like it's the same thing with Cheech Marin. They always wanted him to play the pothead, and then he wanted to give up that role. And he's done so many fucking Disney movies, and then he also played a cop. What was his Nash? Right, Pop?
Yeah.
Nash was a 1990s like cop TV show, and he played a cop, and he didn't want anything to do with Chong. Like he told Chong that he needed to like kick back, and because Chong kept on wanting to do the Cheech and Chong tours where they tour around and they do comedy on stage, and he was like, let me do my own thing, and that's what he did. He ended up doing that, and then obviously he got into Disney. He did the Oliver and Company where he played the Chihuahua. He plays a lowrider in Cars. He does a lot of voices for Disney now.
And like Chris Tucker, that's the reason he stopped doing Friday.
Oh yeah.
Like he said, you know what? I don't want to be portrayed like this anymore. You know what I mean?
But
like so he stopped that shit. Cause on top of that, he was very Christian or something like that.
Oh.
So like he stopped doing that, and that's why they couldn't have Smokey anymore because portray like this no more.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
It's a trip what happens behind the scenes with some of these actors, huh?
Not a lot of people know.
Yeah, they get tired of that tight cast.
That stigma, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Kind of like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. He went off to start doing his own little movie roles and stuff like that because he got tired of that Sheldon stigma, and he knew that. Have you seen him in other movies? Like what is it called? The Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out on that one and some other stuff I've seen him. I go, damn, he's a pretty good actor, man.
Which is funny
You
because
know?
in Hidden Figures he still plays like a scientist.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, but he used it to his advantage.
yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood, man, it must be fucking difficult once you're in it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, what's his name? From the league. They always tell him. Well, he says it himself that he always has to play like a rat face character.
Ooh, Ruxin?
Ruxin, yeah, he says it too. He gets typecasted for like a rat faced lawyer, like
She's always like an
Yeah,
asshole
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Or like Robert De Niro as a mafioso.
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Pacino. Have you ever seen the movie Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? It's called Heat.
nah.
The name sounds familiar.
That's a
but I
great
don't think
film
I've seen
right
it.
there.
Good.
Yeah. Robert De Niro's the
Buzz?
bad guy and Al Pacino's a cop. Great movie.
Yeah, you gotta remember.
Wire.
I think it's like they're like it's supposedly it's very hard to get them to work together.
Egos?
Yeah. To get them together in the big screen
Yeah.
together. And the movie Heat is like one of the few movies where the director was able to get those two actors together.
It's probably because he probably knew them both very well.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only reason it works out.
I heard that it's
Do
hard
me
to
a
get
favor,
De Niro
I'm
and
gonna do you a favor. Come over
yeah,
here.
that it's hard to get De Niro and Al Pacino to say, yeah, we'll work together and do this, you know.
The photographer I told you about yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he actually took the pictures for that movie.
Oh yeah. The photographer, the one that you're talking about, is the one that took the LA one, right?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think he kind of looks like Dice. They're both güerito and they're tall, a little bit tall. He's tall, right? In
Yeah, he's
person,
tall.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dice, I didn't think he was that big
No,
either.
Dice
and
is
then when
a
I
lot
saw,
bigger than
yeah,
I thought he was going to be.
yeah,
You got to get Dice on your show, Mijo.
yeah. Most likely he'll do it. He's the homie. He's a big homie. So he'll most likely, if I ask him,
Yeah.
maybe have some brews for him or something because he likes to drink a little bit. So.
I might be sick to go do it at his studio right there.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Man, I would love to get photography. Fucking shit off.
Yeah, yeah, we've been going for 3 hours. Holy fuck. It's gonna be our longest so far.
Lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Mijo. Appreciate it.
Bob's, we're gonna cut this bitch out, even though Marcos just got on. But we're probably gonna do.
He's already been on for probably 45 minutes though.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh, mine was the most important part.
Yeah, had to save the best for last. Some of that's gonna be a little bit choppy. Like Marcos was trying to get it, so you're gonna hear his fingers tapping on the thing. But he was trying to get Avid's voice, so Avid's voice was cut in and out because he was on the couch. But we're still gonna keep a lot of that shit in there. Well, all of it.
Tappa tappa.
I don't know why he didn't sit closer. Every time he leaned, you could hear him way better. But I still heard him a lot. But there was like some little pauses.
How's your dad and mom doing?
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy that they got their grandchildren now and stuff like that.
Especially
Oh,
the boy.
cool. Do you have any children?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
2 now.
Wow.
I just had my boy a little bit over a month ago now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your first boy?
Yeah.
And then you
first
have
boy.
a daughter?
Yeah, I have a daughter too. She's 3 right now.
Wow.
He wanted to copy his little cuz. Have a daughter and then a son.
Is she a good mama, your woman?
Yeah.
Right on. What does she do?
She works in like property management and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a secure job right there.
Yeah, she's been doing it. I want to say we were like
Over 10 years now.
Yeah, for sure. Over 10. No, about 10 years. 'Cause I think she's
Oh, a little bit. Nah, fool. My daughter's gonna be 10, so it's a little bit over 10 years. Cause
So yeah, probably like 10, 11 years then.
yeah, cause she was doing it when we were chilling down there a lot, and she would drive around and get the money from the banks and shit, right? And that was
Yeah.
property management too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been over 10 years.
Ever since being Caesar's dad, the field that I jumped into was working with adults with developmental intellectual disabilities. Been doing that for like 20 years. You know, just being Caesar's dad and wanting to like get more involved or showing an interest in my son's disability and others like him with, you know, different diagnoses, whether it be Down syndrome or Prader-Willi syndrome or different levels of autism. So that's like
You wouldn't really be able to tell if you didn't know him. You would probably have to watch his little, like, his tics that he has.
Caesar?
Yeah.
I was tripping out on him on Father's Day. Haven't seen him in a while, so I was tripping out on how he would brought back about a lot of memories.
Yeah. He has really good fucking memory.
Yeah.
He'll, like, start talking about shit and you don't even know what the hell.
But you could see his behaviors and stuff like that. You know, the way that he
scratches the back of his head.
Yeah, and the way that he reacts to people around him and stuff like that. And kind of like, you know, I haven't seen Caesar in a long time, and there he is right there, you know. But I work around people like him, and I see that they have the same kind of behaviors and stuff because they're like, you know, have the autism, but they're high functioning. I just got an interview today for a Filipino a brother team that are opening up their second group home, brand new up there in Paradise Hills. They interviewed me today to work in this group home, and it's kind of like a live-in position. And right now they have one client in the house. It's a nice house, and so they're looking for someone to be there full time. You know, kind of like monitor the client, and at the same time, it's kind of like when you work in a group home, you're not only a caregiver or a DSP, which is a direct support professional, but you're also kind of like a mentor, a big brother, you're a butler, you're a nanny, you're like all these things combined and then you're a housekeeper because you have the responsibility of not only caring for the client, but cooking, cleaning, keeping the house in order and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of our boys would be able to chime in if he fucking came on, but he hasn't came. He's supposed to be part of the group. Cuban, his girl was working at the same house you were.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Karen. She was working with William, right? That was his
William.
name? Yeah, the one that passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was telling us about him, and she was really close to him. So when he passed, she cried, yeah.
She was close to William?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked for this one agency. It was called Coastal Living. That's the name of that place, Coastal Living. And it's run by a Chaldean family, you know, and they have a second home. I've never been to it. It's the first home, but that's owned by the parents. And then the daughter was running the one that was in Eastlake, and it's kind of like an upscale area, nice area. So the house is 2-story house, very nice. And when she first opened the home, William was the first client. So for almost 6 months, it was just because he was the first client there and it was a brand new home. They just opened it. I was his one-on-one caregiver. And so it was just me and him for about 5 months in that big house, just me and him every day in, day out. I'd spend the night there because they had an extra room for staff. So I'd get him up in the morning, fix him breakfast and stuff, and help him get dressed. He has like severe autism. He's nonverbal. So it's just like taking care of a large toddler.
Like our
very tall.
Our cousin Keiko.
Yeah, kind of nonverbal and stuff. So you help him with his underwear and shower him and everything, comb his hair, and he just stands there like this, and you hook him up. And then he'd go to day programs, so there'd be a transit that'd come get him or a van for day program. They'd come and get him. And then when he would leave, I'm right there like cleaning up the house and prepping the meal for dinner and stuff like that, you know, taking stuff out to thaw out and everything. So it was really cool doing that kind of.
Really self-rewarding, like, you know what I mean? You're helping somebody else out.
Yeah. And that's the reward and that's the benefit because you're helping people that can't help themselves.
That's what more people should do, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Help each other. You know what I mean? It's not I. It's, you know, we.
Yeah. And
like I didn't create a car.
Yeah, you definitely have to develop the knack for it because not everyone could step into step into those shoes and wipe another person's ass, you know, or stick them in the shower and put gloves on and wipe them in areas
Or
where
deal with
you would-
those the temper tantrums
Yeah,
that they have.
behavior. We call them behaviors. That's what we call them, behaviors.
Because they
And,
get
you know,
intense.
yeah, some of them will. It depends on their diagnosis. Their behaviors depend on their diet. William was very calm. He was never violent. Only when he was upset about something, he would cry really loud, but never like hitting or trying to slap somebody or something like that. Not me. He's never done that to me. But you get clients like that when they're nonverbal and they act out. The first thing they want to do is like. But the thing that when you work in this kind of field as a direct support professional, you cannot take it literally personal. You cannot take it personal because they have no control of what they're doing and they don't mean it. They're not doing it to be malicious or because they hate you or something like that, because they just don't understand. You know, so you can't say, well, fuck this, I don't want to work with him. He's always, you know, hitting on me or something like that, you know.
There's a whole different mentality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mentally, you know, I mean, put yourself in that position. They're like, okay, this person does not know what they're doing. But a lot of people would. They'll be like, what the fuck, hit you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I've worked several group homes working with the developmentally disabled population, and it's like the best job I've ever had. I like it. I like working with that population. I had a good time, you know, take them on field trips, shopping.
And I think that falls in your activism as well.
Yeah, because it's kind of like at a humanitarian level, you're working with other, you know, you're helping other human beings, you know? Yeah.
So we're and now 3 hours and 20 minutes in, so we're gonna.
Is it time to wrap it up?
Yeah. So, Pop, give out your TikToks, your Instagram, whatever they could catch you at.
Instagram is my most active. I like people to follow me on my Instagram. I'm trying to transfer a lot of my followers from TikTok because I have I have a shitload of followers on TikTok. So I always redirect my followers from TikTok over to my Instagram. So my Instagram is lucky_2tears, LUCKY_2 TEARS, lucky_2tears Instagram. I'm trying to hit my 5,000 so that I could start collecting some money on my Instagram.
You have to hit to collect money from Instagram, 5,000?
I think so. It's 5,000 when they start getting, when you start getting some money from it. According to MTO, he kind of hit me to that. He goes, "Lucky, you get your 5,000, man, and start collecting." You know, yeah. But
I just followed you, so
oh, thank you,
got
man.
one more step closer.
Right on. That'll work.
I follow you on like all 3 of my accounts.
There you go.
Every percent counts, bro.
And then your TikTok?
My TikTok is at lucky2tears underscore lowercase at lucky2tears.
Is it the number 2 or is it?
No, actually my TikTok is
Oh no, it's Yaki, isn't it?
Yaki underscore 711 underscore 711.
And
Yeah.
if Don got that right, Bama's about to post that all up in your face.
Yep. I'm gonna spam your motherfuckers.
And I don't mess around with Facebook. There's too much drama on there. I have a Facebook account, but there's just too much drama on Facebook. I don't like it. People just get a little bit too personal on Facebook. It's like a
Breeding
social
ground
media
for
soap
religion,
opera.
for religion and politics, for
Yeah,
sure.
too much of that stuff. I got turned off of it on Facebook during the whole Trump MAGA stuff.
Same thing with my cousin Frankie. He doesn't really like to use social media too much, and he's already he doesn't like to be social with people, antisocial, so he doesn't really like it.
The only reason why I utilize the social media is because it's a good outlet for my activism. It draws in more followers and more people pay attention to the message and they get something out of it, you know? So I like it for that purpose.
Yeah. Spread your word around.
Yeah. Spread the gospel. Yeah, that's the whole purpose, you know, so it works for me. I'm hoping that one day that, you know, I'll get my 1 million followers and then and get like a little check or something from the TikTok. I heard you got to get the 1 million and then you can start collecting money from TikTok.
You'll get there.
But they're already starting to, TikTok's already sending me messages on how to promote and
the
generate,
fucking that cold water bottle hit you up
money.
yet?
Which one?
Like it's like thermos water bottle or whatever. They haven't hit you up yet. It's like I think it's called like cold water or some shit.
I think so.
Most likely.
Yeah.
They probably asked you if you could drink out of it. But yeah, so we're gonna head out. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we out this bitch.
You better go on and tag it and double tap it and bring me your traffic,
we
your
out.
demographic, organic magic. It feels so real. Like what's the deal? It's all so real, but just chill with the pills to my